Under the palmettos, beneath the crescent moon, I am a structure forged from concrete and time. As strong as our pride, as enduring as our passion. Tradition originates from my core. History echoes through my walls. For 7 decades, I've given rise to legends. And today, I await the next one. I am not a desert, but a sandstorm builds within me. I am a sea of garnet and black, with a sound that doesn't just pierce the air, it penetrates your soul. I am the place where every odyssey starts with 2001, where your wake-up call is our battle cry. Trespassers beware. To enter is to sacrifice. It is Saturday in South Carolina. Welcome to Williams-Brice.
Welcome to Williams-Brice Stadium in Columbia, South Carolina. It's the South Carolina Gamecocks, ranked number 12 in the country of the SEC, versus Coastal Carolina of the Big South, the number 7 FCS team in the country. Hello, everybody. Along with Tommy Suggs, I'm Todd Ellis. It's great to be with you today. The first ever meeting between these two Palmetto State schools. And Tommy, if you were drawing up a recipe for an upset, it might be today. You got an SEC team that's got a rivalry game next week, and you got a non-conference opponent that you're playing who's one of the tops in the country in their division. What do the Gamecocks got to do to stay focused today?
Well, you know, good question, Todd, because it is exactly what you said. But I think if Carolina plays their game, does what they do best, good, solid defense, and defense is improving, offensively put points on the board like we've been coached all week, we ought to be okay.
Well, the Gamecocks have won 31 straight against FCS opponents. Well, you don't win 10 games in any conference unless you got good football players. And the Chants have got them on both sides of the ball. They may have a chip on their shoulder as well playing against these SEC big boys. It all starts with a quarterback, Alex Ross.
Well, he's a player. You played quarterback, I did too. I think maybe in this day and time, the quarterback position is even more important, and he's a good one. 6'1", 200 pounds. He's thrown for 2,282 yards already, 17 touchdowns to only 6 interceptions. He's completing over 65% of his passes. We got to be really careful with him today.
Yeah, on defense, Quinn Buckus, a linebacker from Greenwood, South Carolina, great program there, but they've given up 500-plus yards in 2 of their last 3 ball games. Well, we've got an SEC versus Big South matchup, the first time ever between these Palmetto State schools. That's all coming next. Kickoff.
Unfortunately, I've got one caveat. Our soldiers and I survived 200 rockets in 9 months. So I'm a little deaf, so I need a lot of sound.
It's now time for Carolina football.
Thank you so much, Langston. Matt Alston, our referee today. And the Gamecocks in their garnet. Chanticleers in their white jerseys, black pants. Gamecocks white breeches today. Connor Shaw, undefeated at home, slaps a couple Chanticleers on the shoulder pad, says good luck, and we're ready to get at it. Normally, you're heading towards the coast, but today, the Chanticleers have come to Williams-Brice Stadium in Columbia, South Carolina to play with the big boys. And we'll see if they're ready to do it. Dylan Thompson warming up as well. Could see some number 17 today. Either way, actually, is what Steve Spurrier said this week. Tommy, probably going to get some Dylan in the first or second quarter.
Yeah, I think that's what he clearly sent the message on. And yeah, he said Dylan plays better when he knows Thompson's going to come in, and no one knows that better than coach and maybe Dylan. But we'll see what happens. See how much Dylan gets to play.
Chanticleers keeping a close eye on Liberty versus Charleston Southern. And tonight, don't forget, Missouri and Ole Miss going at it. Brent Johnson will bring him in on our Red Baron scoreboard. Brent, that's a 7:40 kick or 8 tonight?
7:45 kick, Missouri at Ole Miss. It's going to be obviously a huge game for Gamecock fans, and everyone I'm sure will be watching and cheering on the Rebels. Become a Rebel fan tonight.
Yes, they've only lost one game at home, and that was to A&M, but just a couple of points, if I recall. And Ole Miss, one of those teams now that's getting very good in the conference at home. They need to beat the Missouri Tigers. They do so, and the Gamecocks are heading to Atlanta.
Yeah, and they've won 4 in a row. Ole Miss with the home field advantage in this one. Missouri a slight favorite in the game, and of course they have James Franklin back at full strength, so it should be a great football game.
Of course, Brent will be with us throughout the ball game. And at halftime, our Hardy's halftime report. The big gang is here. Tommy Suggs, Langston Moore, I'm Todd Ellis. David Spence, our spotter. Doug Kershaw Adams, our statistician. Rachel Sin, our producer. Captain Carol Sin, our engineer. Landon Ard kicks it off. End over end. Devin Brown brings it up the near hash across the 20 and the 25 into some garnet jerseys. He squeaks through to about the 23-yard line. It's a 26-yard return. We're underway. Landon Ard with the tackle on the play. Steve Spurrier talked about a big tackle that Landon had earlier in the season. He does a good job running down there after those kicks if he doesn't get the touchback. So here comes the 45 points per game Chanticleer offense, and it's led by Alex Ross, 6'1", 200-pound sophomore from Alpharetta, Georgia. His back to the south end zone, wiping his hands on that towel. Taylor Farrow to his left. They work primarily out of a single back. Here's a 4 wide receiver set. Lifts the legs, calls for the football. Carolina blitzing on first down. Off the corner. Throwing down the field. 84. Catches it right at the 50. That's Matt Hazel, 6'3", 190, the senior. A great bullet from Ross on the first play. And that's 25 yards. The Gamecocks blitz. And Ross gets it off. And a first down for the Chanticleers. Yeah, they're back to work.
Nice seam route that time. Clowney not in, folks. Dixon playing in instead.
Handoff inside. Talavero hit immediately. Knifing through was the linebacker for the Gamecocks, Marquise Roberts, along with J.T. Surratt. That's -1 on the play, so their first run play of the day is troublesome. This is a team that runs the football very well. And they run fast. Second down and 10. Just underway. Ross raises the leg, going to take another look at it. Now set with a 4-man front. Shotgun snap, looking left side, fade route near sideline, incomplete. Over the head of his intended receiver, John Israel, the sophomore from Florence, South Carolina, played his football at Wilson. They can't connect there, and just like that, it's 3rd and 10. So they get 25 on the first time, Tommy, and then 2, an incomplete pass and a minus yardage run.
Both times they're going after Hampton out of Darlington, was not far from Florence, of course, and that time Hampton made a good play. The first time he made a good play, too. The safety just didn't get there in enough time.
3rd down and 10. First series of the ball game for the Chants. Ross out of the gun again. Shotgun snap, stepping up in the pocket, right side, throwing on the run, curl route, incomplete, intended for Demario Bennett, the senior from Douglas, Georgia, and the former Gamecock. It was thrown slightly behind him, right about at the marker, couldn't bring it in.
It was. forced out of the pocket a little bit. No blitz that time by Carolina at all. Linebackers dropping back in zone coverage, but he had some pressure from the down guys up there. Surratt, I believe, was the one that was putting the pressure, so he had to run around a little bit, didn't get his feet set, threw it behind Bennett.
Here's Austin Kane to punt for Coastal, 6 foot, 200-pound junior. 38.1 yard average. He's going to stand right at his own 35-yard line. Going to punt towards Victor Hampton, standing at the 10 in that north end zone. Low wobbler angling towards the Gamecock bench and away from Victor Hampton. And maybe some nerves there for Kane. That came off badly, almost off his shin. Goes out of bounds at the Gamecock 15-yard line. Just a 33-yard punt.
No damage that time at all from Carolina not getting the ball, and Coastal Carolina getting it on the first possession there. So Carolina now has it at the 15. Not bad.
Coastal opened up with a 25-yard gain and then a stop. We'll be back on the Gamecock IMG Sports Network. First and 10 from their own 15-yard line, and they're going to bring out the guy who's got 24 career wins as a starter, Connor Shaw, nursing an injury. You look back on his career, Tommy, he gets the win today. It'll take him just 30 games to get 25 wins. Took me 43, and he's done it with a cracked scapula, a bruised knee, a dislocated shoulder. One of the toughest guys I know is Connor Shaw, and he goes first and 10 with Sean Carson and McLaurin in the backfield. Offset eye, fakes inside to Carson. Steps up in the pocket, deep out far sideline. Ellington there, caught the 30. Bruce tries to spin away, but an ankle is gotten on 23, and that's a 16-yard gain, and you hear Bruce from the students section, first down Carolina.
Another thing about Shaw, Todd, this second game in a row, he's not worn that brace. So I know he doesn't like wearing it. He's made that very clear to the trainers and also our medical staff and also the coaches, but they certainly want him to wear it. He does, too, if he's got a problem, so he must be feeling pretty good about it.
Cody Waldrop starting at center for the second week in a row. He snaps it back. Connor Shaw going to take it himself after the fake inside. Running for the marker. They hit him on the Gamecock sideline. He pops up quickly, and he got all the way to the 41-yard line. Another Carolina first down on the Shaw run. That was a quick Connor Shaw there. He did not look full speed last week. 14 motoring on that play.
I tell you what was better than him running was Anderson's block out there from that tight end position. Very nice screen up and just good shield block by Buster Anderson at tight end.
So the Gamecocks 2 plays, 2 first downs. They'll go back to work, this time just outside their own 40-yard line. Carson, McLaurin again in the backfield. Pistol formation. Shotgun snap. Fake inside again to Carson. Pump fake. Shaw going deep down the middle of the field. Overthrown to Demir Bird. Wanted the home run ball, and I think Connor slipped just a little bit on that turf and then threw it flat and overthrew a streaking Demir Bird on the play. It'll be 2nd and 10.
One thing's for sure from up here looking last week and that second pass he's thrown here today, he is throwing the ball for whatever reason now with a little less loft on it. And I don't know, as Todd said, maybe it was a slip that time, but he's got to put it up again and let those guys, those speed burners out there run under it on one like that.
You know, late in the season, sometimes it's just fatigue in your arm.
No,
you don't have
yeah.
enough strength in it. All right, Nicky Jones comes into the ball game on 2nd down and 10 for the Gamecocks. No score, 12:55 to go. Wide receiver screen, left side. Actually, no screen, just Shaq Rowland one-on-one on the hitch route. Catch and rolls up to the 48-yard line, a 7-yard gain. Tommy, I think that was just he got single coverage, step up and throw it to him.
Yeah, I was hoping he could have gotten away from him, shaked him a little bit better, maybe, and gotten away from him, but the guy came up and made a pretty good tackle on him over there on the right side for 29 Summers for Coastal Carolina.
Shaq, of course, had 2 catches against MSU, both for touchdowns. 3rd down and 3 for the Gamecocks. 12:26 to go in the first quarter. Pistol formation again. Waldrop snaps it back. Handoff inside. Carson first carry of the day. They get him around the shoulder pads. He can't get to the corner. The fans on the east side want a horse collar. So does Sean Carson. But, Tommy, they may have gotten him in the front, not the back of those pads. It's a gain of just 1, and now it's 4th down and maybe 2 yards to go.
Yeah, Gamecocks definitely going for it here. So
one of the nation's best at 4th down, Tommy. And you got a lot of options on the field. 6th play of the drive. First drive for the Gamecocks. 11:50 to go in the first quarter. Carson alone back in the backfield. Bruce comes in motion. Fake inside to Bruce on the sweep. Connor rolling right side. Connor looking for somebody, got to run, gets the first down. Oh, just wanted Shaq Rowland to break out deep. Couldn't quite wait long enough, Tommy, and avoid trying to pick up the first down. That's a 5-yard gain, moving the chains.
Well, it's amazing how you're running out there as a quarterback, and you put that ball up like you may throw it, and everybody in the place knows he's not, including the defensive back, but that he just hesitates a little bit and allows you to pick up the first down.
They almost slow down running after him.
Yeah, it does. It's amazing. It always works, though.
Well, it did that work that time for a first down. Fresh set of downs for Connor Shaw. He's into Coastal territory. No score. First drive for the Gamecocks. Some late signals from Shaw to his wide receiver. Takes a shotgun snap. Wants to go down the far sideline. Lofting one there. Running under it. Incomplete. Intended receiver Bruce Ellington. Nothing but a go route. And look at Coastal, Tommy, playing a little man-to-man pressure defense from the corner positions.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good play that time, too, by the cornerback. I believe, again, it may have been Summers and not Sampson over there. But a nice play, I think, right at the last minute to put the hand up there and knock it away.
That one was definitely on target from Connor Shaw.
Good throw.
11:05 in the first quarter. Overcast skies for Connor Shaw in his passing game right now. Carson and McLaurin are in the backfield. 3 wide receiver set, along with Pharaoh Cooper checking in at the slot. 5-man front for the Chants. They blitz. Carson left side avoids the first man, then into a set of linebackers around the 45-yard line. Maybe a gain of 1 on the play. Sean did a good job of making that first guy miss because it was jailbreak blitz up the middle, but Coastal was there waiting there afterwards. So it's going to be 3rd and 10.
Gamecocks 42% on 3rd down conversions.
Shaw breaks the huddle with Sean Carson split out left side. Nobody in the backfield. Empty set on 3rd down. 9 yards to go.
Rushing 3.
Connor looks back over to the sideline. Mangus gives him the late snap. They rush 4 now. Picked up. Looking left side. Curl route. Caught. Ellington trying to spin away for the marker. He won't be able to do so. Let's see where the spot is. It was closer to it. They drive him back. We say a gain of 9 yards. Looks like a pretty fair spot for the Gamecocks, Tommy. It is. First down, Carolina. Boy, that was a bullet on the curl route to Ellington, who's got his 2nd catch of the day.
Yeah, Bruce comes into today's game, the leading receiver for Carolina with 36, got 38 so far. Bruce Ellington now with close to 570 yards in receptions.
10th play of the drive, 9:55 to go in the first quarter, no score. Connor Shaw with the wide side of the field to his right. Sean Carson in the backfield, but he wants to throw it. Under some pressure. Shaw throwing late, got a man at the 10, caught, turning, diving. Touchdown, Carolina. Touchdown, Connor Shaw from 35 yards out to Shaq Rowland. Shaw's 20th touchdown of the season. Oh, what a throw on the run.
I tell you, he had plenty of room to run the ball that time. He had some pressure initially and broke out of that and then broke to his right side and had a guy after him, but he had plenty of room, possibly, Todd, to pick up 8 or 9 yards, but he threw it perfectly on the run. And again, Shaq Rowland released downfield where you got to go and stayed in front of Shaw, so he had a good view of it.
Elliott Fry, the hero of the Florida game, stepped out on the field with Fish. Fish puts it down for him. Fry from Frisco, Texas, bangs it up through and finishes that one off. 7-0 Carolina. Man, what a throw on that play. 10 plays and 85 yards for the Gamecocks. Tommy, maybe as good a throw as he's ever made on the run, stepping up like that. And Shaq Rowland, super job by him, catching it outstretched, kept his feet in, turned up the sideline, dove for the goal line there. Very good athletes. I guess that's why you recruit them.
Yeah, well,
Two of them right there.
You know, that's clearly maybe an under-recruited kid out of Georgia named Connor Shaw, but a highly recruited kid out of South Carolina, Mr. South Carolina football, and just now coming into his own in his 2nd year at Carolina, just getting the ball thrown to him more, Todd, and just doing the things in practice that he's supposed to do and everybody anticipated him doing. Better attitude, all those things coming into play now. And Shaq Rowland, 2 catches a day, 42 yards, and for the year he's got 14 catches and 4 touchdowns.
Great block by A.J. Cann. Boy, they blitzed the linebacker up there hard. He just stoned him and had a great pocket initially for Connor Shaw. For 75 years, Nielsen Van & Storage Mayflower has been providing high-quality relocation solutions to customers all over the world. Let Nielsen Van & Storage help make your next move your best move. Nielsen Van & Storage Mayflower, delivering the difference. Tommy Suggs, Langston Moore, and here comes Landon Ard to run up for a kickoff. It's another kickoff brought to you by Remax. Out of the back of the end zone, Devin Brown takes a knee after he catches it right at the back of the end zone. When you get ready to kick off your search for a new home, visit Remax.com. Remax, outstanding agents, outstanding results.
Todd, on that drive, the Gamecocks 1 of 2 on third downs, and then 1 of 1 on fourth down. So actually 2 of 2 on third downs and 1 of 1 on fourth down. So, you know, good drive, 10 plays as you call it. Good mixture of running and passing.
Shaw with a strike to Rowland for 35 yards. And the guys from the SEC are up on the guys from the Big South.
It does make a difference, though, offensively for Carolina when Connor Shaw can run the football.
Yeah, no Clowney as of yet. He is dressed out. Telefero to the left of Ross. Single back set. They want to throw it again. They got their man in the flat. Telefero catches it. The big back who goes 6'2", 230, the senior from Yorktown, Virginia, gains 5 on a little flare route. Tommy, what a back. What a productive back who stayed away from major injuries. 1,446 yards rushing. Walter Pate Award candidate. That basically goes for the best back in the country in that division, FCS. So, second down and 5 after the completion. 9:22 to go in the first quarter. 7-0 Carolina. Ross out of the gun again. Telefero in the backfield. They fake to him. Ross swings it out right side. Incomplete. Fake inside. Throwing to a wide receiver screen on the Terrell Blanks, the 6', 160-pound sophomore from Fort Myers, Florida. Can't get his 17th catch of the year. That's because Jimmy Legree covering beautifully on that play.
Gamecocks on third down coming up right here, holding the opponents 37% conversion, whereas Coastal Carolina, Todd, 55% conversion. That's very high.
They need 5 yards here with their backs to the south end zone. Ross out of the gun. The crowd rising up. Lifts the leg, calls for it. Shifting by Carolina. Blitz. Ross looking left side. Quick throw over the hands of his intended receiver, Matt Hazel. I think he felt the pressure coming that time, and he just gunned it early. Incomplete. Another stop for the Gamecocks. TJ Holloman pressuring for Carolina. He comes to the sideline, and Lorenzo Ward doesn't like what he did, whatever it was, but I know number 11 was in there and caused him to go to a fourth downing punting situation.
Yeah, Dixon a little bit replacing over here Jadeveon Clowney, letting them get to his feet a little bit. Not quite as athletic as Jadeveon would just jump over that with his hands and good leverage and keep on going, but not Dixon.
Here's Kane to punt it. It's a wobbler, not going to turn end over end. Farrell Cooper comes up for the fair catch. A couple of Chanticleers roll by him as he brings it in cleanly, and there's a timeout on the field. 8:58 to go in the first. Gamecocks up 7-0. They'll have the ball when we come back on the Gamecock IMG Sports Network. Todd Ellis, thanks for being with us on the Gamecock IMG Sports Network. Suggsy and I and Langston doing a little pay-per-view today. Glad to greet those people who are watching from around the state of South Carolina and beyond. And by the way, if you're having any difficulties in getting it, or you know the channels in your local area, why don't you tweet it out or send it out otherwise? So make sure all those folks who want to get pay-per-view.
Yeah, every cable group in the state was offered the opportunity to do it, so hopefully they did.
Right, if you're not getting it, it may be because they did not take it, but hopefully so. Help out your neighbor, though. Gamecocks going for their second series. They scored in their first. Connor Shaw, Carson behind him, pistol formation. McLaurin, the fullback. Shotgun snap, fake inside again. Connor, plenty of time, steps up, deep down the middle of the field, caught by Bruce. Flag on the play. It's an in route, caught around the Coastal 47-yard line. Gain of 17, first down, but we'll check the call. Thrown kind of in that holding range. It was man-to-man coverage again.
Holding, defense 25. The penalty's declined. Play results in a first down.
25 was actually the cover guy, I believe, on Ellington that time. When Ellington made his square in, Todd, he beat him, so he just reached out and grabbed him, which is a normal thing to do. He just got caught.
That's Ladarius Hawthorne, 5'9", 180-pound senior from Ware Shoals, South Carolina. He's got a knack for making big plays. He's blocked 3 kicks, but that time he used his hands again for the wrong reason, though. This time, holding on Bruce Ellington. Bruce with 3 catches on the day. 1st and 10 for the Gamecocks. And Connor back to work. This time, Carson straight up the middle, powering behind McLaurin and Cody Waldrop. He'll push down to around the 40-yard line of Coastal.
This Coastal defensive team has given up a lot of run yards this year, right at 198 yards per game they've allowed.
They just gave up 6. It'll be 2nd down and 4. Don't forget to tune in to Carolina Calls with Steve Spurrier this week, Tuesday. Not Thursday night because of Thanksgiving. Come out and see us at the Wild Wing Cafe. Shaw out of the gun. Going to hand off again inside. A streaking Sean Carson's caught from behind as they slanted inside and took away the inside zone. Just a gain of 1 yard. It'll be 3rd down, 3 yards to go.
A little high snap that time by Cody Waldrop. Got the play a little bit out of sync. We had a man coming in motion, Ellington coming across, so you want to fake to him, then give it to Carson, and just a high snap kind of messed it all up back there. But Carson did a good job of taking the snap from Shaw.
Here comes the
handoff, rather. Excuse me.
Here comes the Wildcat with Pharaoh Cooper. Got McLaurin in the backfield. Demir Bird comes in motion. They fake in front of him. Cooper straight up the middle. Pharaoh breaking down to about the 30-yard line. The quick and fresh legs of Pharaoh Cooper gain 9 yards on the play before Williams from Douglas, Georgia, makes the stop for Coastal.
You know what he showed me right there, Todd, is something that Marcus Lattimore had so much of it, and that is patience. He hit through there, stopped a little bit, let a block go, let a guy miss him a little bit, and then kept on going. So it wasn't all just north-south downhill running. It was just patience. Let everything happen in front of you.
Pharaoh going over 100 yards on the year now rushing. Connor Shaw back in his usual spot on a 1st and 10. Nobody in the backfield. Going to run a reverse to Bruce Ellington as they flip, and it's going to lose a bunch of yards. Well, Bruce breaks away. I'm sorry. Called it early. Now a flag on the play. It's going to lose about 2 or 3 yards, but Bruce breaking some tackles kept it from being about a 10-yard loss. Dominique Whiteside with the stop, but we'll get the call. Could be holding on the Gamecocks and trying to block down the field for Bruce, but nothing on the reverse there.
And we're the only team in America can't run that.
Illegal block in the back, number 3 of the offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat 1st down.
Gamecocks really struggled running things like that over the last couple of years, but you know, good defensive play. Let's give it to Coastal Carolina because their defensive end over there, and I believe it was Whiteside,
yes.
I believe, and he's a 6-year senior. They have 2 6-year seniors on this football team, but he's one of them. He stayed home, played his assignments. And
actually 2 of them over there. Pernell Williams was there as well.
Yep.
So the loss will pull it back to a 2nd and a Swansea dirt road. 21 yards to go. 6:33, 7-0 Carolina. Shaw, nobody in the backfield, wants to throw it. Rolling right, now taking off inside the 40, 35, 30. Connor steps out of bounds on the near sideline at the 25.
That's the Connor Shaw. He's got the speed back, folks. Don't worry about the knee.
Watch out. That was pretty quick. 16 yards on the game.
Yeah, he saw it, and then he just tucked the ball away, didn't try to fake a pass or anything, and just showed a little speed that time.
This guy's not only 24-5 as a starter, he's rushed for 1,500 yards in his career. Nobody really even close. The Jeff Grantses, the Anthony Wrights, anybody else that rushed and threw the football.
How about me? I did it.
You did, Tommy. I didn't mean to leave you
that's
out.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Nothing personal.
2nd down, 5 yards to go. Connor, wide receiver screen. Shaq Roller with a great block. Outside, cuts between 2 defenders and down to the 15-yard line. Pharaoh Cooper lit up 2 shots on the play, gains 9 yards and a 1st down, almost broke it.
I tell you, a nice move that time by Roland after he caught it to kind of cut between them, Todd. That's an athletic move. You feel it right there, folks. You don't teach that. You feel that. He nearly broke it in for the touchdown.
Gamecocks come out now deep into Coastal territory. This is just what Carolina wanted to. Long drives take the Chanticleers off the field. The 7th play for Carolina right now. This one's going to go 1st and 10 right at the Chants 15-yard line. Carson in the backfield to the left of Connor Shaw. Working out of the gun, takes a snap. Good one. Looking, got time. Pump fake. Now runs up left side. Trying to turn his shoulders. Lawful into the back of the end zone. Incomplete. Wanted his tight end, Buster Anderson. Buster kind of turned around on the play. It was over his outside shoulder. Couldn't bring it in. And that'll bring up 2nd and 10.
You know, we brought this up early in the ball game. The Gamecocks inside the 20 this year when they're moving in, they're only scoring touchdowns on a 65% rate, whereas Coastal Carolina limits opposing teams 59% of the time to touchdowns. So very good defensive percentage for Coastal. Not as good as Coach Spurrier wants for the Gamecocks at 65%.
Carolina throwing it all over the field this first quarter. 49 yards rushing, 143 total yards. And nobody in the backfield. Sean Carson split out. Connor Shaw all alone. Here come the shots. Connor wants to throw it. Pump fake once. Now rolls left side. Turning. Got a man right at the 5. Caught. Turning back in down to the 4-yard line. Nick Jones. Oh, he almost put that right foot out of bounds on the far sideline. Makes the catch. Gains 11, Tommy. And that's a first down and first and goal for the Gamecocks.
Tell you, a mobile Connor Shaw, disciplined Connor Shaw, then finally breaking out, and the receiver helps him. The receiver gets separation between the defensive back and says, I'm right here. He sits down on the sideline. Connor threw it, rolling to his left. Nice completion.
And that's the 23rd catch of the year for Nicky Jones. Connor Shaw out of the shotgun. Jamari Smith into the backfield, rolling left side. That's touchdown Carolina. Touchdown Smith on the run from 3 yards out.
Nice to see Jamari Smith get that one.
Yeah, the freshman from Jacksonville, Florida, sneaks out on the field. No Brandon Wiles, no Mike Davis, no Sean Carson. His first career touchdown from 3 yards out. Welcome to the Gamecocks. It's 13-0 Carolina.
Jamari Smith, not large, 5'10", 183, but a true freshman. Very good running back. He looks good on the field out there at practice, and practiced a lot this week. Nice to get him in there.
Elliott Fry here to attempt the extra point. Swing it through, kick it up, it's good. 14-0 South Carolina, 63 yards on 9 plays. We'll be back on the Gamecock IMG Sports Network. For 14-0 Gamecocks. Jamari Smith, the freshman from Jacksonville, from 3 yards out. Suggs, that's not only his first of his career touchdown, that's the first rushing touchdown since Tennessee. That's going to be important down the stretch and going into postseason. Got to be able to run the ball in the red zone.
No question about it, and I think that's one of the hallmarks the last couple of years, winning 11 games. You have Marcus Lattimore back there, and then all of a sudden, obviously, Marcus gets hurt. Gamecocks only lose one game in that 12 or 11 game stretch when Marcus was out, but regardless, still able to run the ball for touchdowns inside the 10-yard line. So Gamecocks got to get that back and get comfortable with that and toughen it up a little bit up front.
Here comes another Remax kickoff. Landon Ard booming this one high, very deep. And Devin Brown won't bring this one out. Maybe the best of the year is that one's about 4 yards deep, but all those Gamecocks on the kickoff coverage team were down there because that one was skied so high.
Landon Ard, you know, we laugh sometimes and say he always gets off one bad one during
I'm
the
not
game.
laughing.
But
I'm not laughing.
But right now, he's 3 for 3 today. He came into the game averaging 61.7 on his kickoffs. He had 26 touchbacks out of those 60 kicks, and 2 more today, so that's 28. So that's not bad. Good job by Landon. And he's a good tackler, too. We talked about that earlier. He loves to tackle people.
Chanticleers with no yards rushing. Try handoff inside to Talaferro. And they'll get their first positive yardage of the day, at least gained back to about 2 yards. Second down and 8. Kelsey Griffin from Buford, Georgia, who's got a 6th tackle on the season, and the shots go back to work quickly. Out of the gun, Ross wants to throw it. Wide receiver screen towards the Gamecock sideline. Caught at the 24, turning up. And across the 30 goes Tyrell Blanks from Fort Myers, Florida. Nice little stretch play. Good blocking on the outside as well before J.J. Marcus makes the stop. I've seen Marcus and Elder, Tommy. I don't think I've seen Bryson Williams with a bad forearm today at safety. So no Clowney, no Williams so far. And the Gamecocks with a 14-0 lead. 3:50 to go. And it's going to be third and very short in this first quarter. 2 backs in the backfield this time. Chanticleer's running inside. There's a fumble. Ball on the ground. Picked up at the 30. Running inside the 25, 20. Go lightly down to the 10 and knocked out of bounds. Forced fumble and return. And there's a flag on the play. Thrown right on that Gamecock sideline after a 22-yard return. Oh, they never had a good exchange with the fullback. And the Gamecocks take it over.
And Golightly picked one up earlier this year and ran it, and that was another one right there for him. But Todd, it's interesting because I've never really seen this, I don't think. Coastal Carolina's had 9 fumbles this year. Here's a call.
Ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by South Carolina. Following the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 9 of South Carolina, 15-yard penalty.
Wow. I was watching him closely because I'm still making sure the number's correct. All he did was jump up and do a high five with another teammate that I saw. We'll check the replay, but there's a personal foul on Sherrod Golightly after the fumble. Mason Harris doing a good job in there and breaking it up. Golightly got it, comes down the Gamecock side. Oh, his face mask.
Yeah, it looks like to me throwing the ball was a call right there, but his face mask, and that's the thing that was missed by these officials. But I want to go back to my comment, and that is, Todd, the Chanticleer Coastal Carolina guys, they fumbled 9 times this year, but only lost 3 of them. That's an amazing stat.
The fact they're not fumbling, and even when they do, they don't lose.
That's exactly right. It's very, very unusual right there.
Well, they lost one there.
They lost that one, though. Yep.
Turnover for the Gamecocks, and Shaw back to work. He's thrown one, and Jamari Smith's run one in, and they'll go for another with Sean Carson in the backfield. This time they start deep in the red zone of the Chanticleers. Coastal's 23-yard line. Waldrop in at center. Carson to the right. Handoff inside. Sean with a nice cut back into 20 and squeaks through down to about the 17-yard line. 5-yard gain for Sean. Pernell Williams with another tackle from his outside linebacker spot. Boy, I tell you, the officials, and they can't catch everything, but there's a bad face mask on Golightly. Golightly jumps up and kind of just flips the ball. Doesn't even really throw it, then celebrates with his teammate. He gets a personal foul. So the Gamecocks would have been deep inside the 10, I believe, but for the penalty. Right now they're going back to work on a 2nd down and 5, 2:58 to go in this first quarter. Up 14. Shaw lifts the left leg, looks for the football, takes a snap. 4-man front, quarterback draw, right side. Good block from Carson. Inside the 15, Connor dances on the sideline and steps out of bounds at the 10. Another Carolina first down on an 8-yard run for Connor Shaw. Really nice block by Carson.
Nice block, nice pickup of the block and what was going on by Connor Shaw. Just a design quarterback draw, and that again tells me, folks, his knee is fine. I don't think Coach Spurrier would call that play had his knee not been fine.
Mike McClure was the guy blocked by Carson, a Rock Hill native, went to Rock Hill High School, good linebacker, but cut down by Carson. All right, 1st and goal at the 10. Pistol formation for Connor Shaw. McLaurin in at fullback. Wide receiver screen, left side. Caught. Damiere Byrd running for the pylon, diving.
It's a touchdown. I don't know why the guy's waiting it.
Well, he's waving it off out of bounds. Boy, the side official was so far back into that Carolina crowd. Not only couldn't we see him, I'm not sure he could see the pylon being knocked over. Nevertheless, it's a 9-yard gain. It will be 2nd and goal at the 1, and there will be a replay. Obviously, a potential touchdown scoring situation. Good block by Bruce Ellington. Not a great replay here on the Jumbotron for us to be able to see, as it was ground level.
Carolina got to get to Connor Shaw, making sure the offensive line gets up here. We may have to call a timeout here, but I think he's going to snap it. No, here we go. Now we're looking at it. They need to look at it.
The game is under further review.
Thank you, Matt Alston. Gamecocks had gotten lined up with Sean Carson.
Speaking of Carson, Todd, to me, when you give the kid a little room, he's beginning to glide a little bit. Glide, and I like that. That means he's getting comfortable, he's feeling it, and the great running backs are like that. You got to give him the football, and I like that where he's getting more touches. And Mike Davis, we know what he can do, getting him healthy here today, hopefully, and getting those guys ready for next week. But Carson's certainly doing a good job for Carolina.
You know, it goes back to, I remember what Steve Spurrier said in Sean Carson's first camp before he got injured with the wrist, before he had the knee injury. He described this, which is pretty rare, as you know, for him, for particularly a young player. He said he runs like water running through a brook, just finds those holes and glides through there. And your description and his is appropriate. And I hope he's getting back to full health. Sean Carson. They're taking a look. It was a Damiere Byrd wide receiver screen and pumped it out to him on the far sideline. Here's Matt Alston.
Check it out.
They do call it out of bounds on the 1-yard line. So our man Damiere Byrd, who's got 4 touchdowns in 2013, will not get his 5th, and it'll be 2nd and goal from the 1.
Todd, the thing we have to remember about Carson, though, going back to him, is he really missed 2 years of football. he really didn't touch the field for 2 years, basically. He, got hurt against Georgia a couple years ago. Then last year was out all year until the last bowl game, I gather. So he's just getting it back into the groove. So hopefully he can continue.
It'll be a single back set. Sean Carson up close. Second and goal from the 1. Connor Shaw takes it himself, right side. Touchdown, Carolina. Touchdown, Connor Shaw from 1 yard out. The Chanticleers say they come up with the football, but it breaks the plane and puts another 6 on the board for the Gamecocks. The extra point could make it 21 points in the first quarter.
Nice looking drive for Carolina that time after a fumble by Coastal Carolina, a pickup by Golightly. Only 23 yards, 4 plays. Not bad.
Elliott Fry back out on the field. Patrick Fish pats him on the head as he gets set to line up. Culberson to snap it back. Rain earlier today, but nothing right now. Just overcast. Fry, no problem with his footing. Swings through and got it. 21-0 South Carolina. 1:41 to go in the first. And the Chanticleers, who were looking at that Liberty game to see if they're going to get the automatic qualifier in their playoff hopes, they may be looking at pulling back a little bit now with some of their top players down 21 in the first half to the Gamecocks. And Tommy, more importantly, Carolina's looked crisp on both sides.
Yeah, I think so. I think the opening pass completion by the Chanticleers was a nice throw by them. It kind of woke Carolina up a little bit, and after that, good pressure up front by the down people. As we mentioned, Clowney's not playing, Quarles is not playing, so clearly the Chanticleers not getting the Gamecocks' best effort, but the guys up front are playing well. Dukes is in there, Dixon's in there, and we're rotating Griffin in there, true freshman. So those guys are playing well, and then the offense is real confident right now. Shaw's throwing the ball well. He's 8 of 11 so far. Still a little direct and not enough arc on it, but that's coming. 115 yards and 1 touchdown, so you can't really have much to complain about right now. 181 yards in total offense for the Gamecocks to only 36 for Coastal.
This game is brought to you by South Carolina Blue Retail Center. Got health insurance questions? Visit your local SC Blue Retail Center. Thanks to Blue Cross Blue Shield for their sponsorship of today's game. Landon Ard to kick off. Devin Brown set back to receive. 5'8", 155 for the Chanticleers. This one's high, deep, 2 yards deep. They will not bring it out, however. Touchback, come out to the 25-yard line. Landon Ard having a very good day with some moisture in the air and a lot of humidity. But as always, no matter what the situation here, gorgeous day for football at Williams-Brice Stadium. Don't forget, next week, I know you're not forgetting about the ball game, 7 o'clock kick, though, 3 hours before our coverage will start on the Gamecock IMG Sports Network. And you stay with us throughout the week. Hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving holiday, and then come back for some Gamecock football. Alex Ross still in it. Snap, rolls right, throws into coverage, almost picked off on the deep crossing route. Terrell Banks, the intended receiver, and Chaz Elder, the safety. Known more as a hitter, Tommy, but he came up with a great job in coverage.
He was in great position on that, never left his guy at all, and then right at the last minute made a nice move on it, but just not able to come up with it. It was right out of his reach that time, and probably lucky for Ross at quarterback that it was.
Chaz Elder, 6'2", 199-pounder, playing very good football. Some movement right side for the Chants. It'll be a false start.
Prior to the snap,
looks like it's number 75 Ashley.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Mo Ashley, Drew Herring over there on the right side. Those guys are seniors. One from Myrtle Beach, played his ball at Carolina Forest. One from Honea Path. Veteran players, Tommy, up front. That's really what's probably got them going, or making the big move for Joe Mowgli in the second year. So that brings the 2nd and 15. They're going to run the ball left side. Talaferro, not much going, will push up to about the 24-yard line. And boy, Deke Adams is upset with somebody up front. So the intensity is not waning for the Gamecock staff. It's just a 3-yard gain on the play. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 12 yards to go with 1:15 in the first quarter. 21-0 South Carolina. Coastal from the Big South. Alex Ross out of the gun all by himself. Wants to throw it, looking left side. Guns it on the Gamecock sideline. Caught, but a yard short. A mistake by Matt Hazel, who was 7th in the FCS category of career list, 25 touchdowns, but he came up a yard short. You suspect, as the Shants line up, that they'll go for it on 4th and 1 in their own territory, down 21. Ross out of the gun. Taillefer, left side, into the line, stood up,
I don't think he
pushed
made
back.
it. No, he didn't.
He goes 230. He might need 235 to get that one. Kawhi Lewis with a stop. The Gamecocks shut down Coastal on their attempt in their own territory.
A good call, though, Todd. I would go for it. You got to in a case like that. So got to give credit really to Carolina's defensive front. I'm not sure who was there other than Surratt, I believe, was up there. Kawan Lewis made the tackle. Dixon was in there. I think Dukes was in there, too. So nice play up front, boys.
Yeah, and everybody got ready because they went hurry up as well.
Good point.
Let's go down to Langston Moore on the sidelines. Langston?
Yeah, you guys talk about the intensity. The two coaches that are not letting anything slip is, of course, Coach Elliott and Coach Deke Adams. They got some of the younger guys in there, and they're not going to let them slip on technique or their assignments. They're out here fired up like they're coaching for the SEC championship is on the line.
Shoot, on a spring practice late in the day, it's like they're getting ready to blow a gasket, those two, their intensity. And Connor Shaw, the starter, out of the ball game for the moment. Here comes Dylan Thompson. 51 seconds to go. Jamari Smith into the backfield, but Dylan Thompson wants to go post route. Nick Jones at the goal line. Caught. Touchdown Carolina. Touchdown Nicky Jones from 34 yards out. Dylan comes off the bench again. The first play is 6 on a post route to Jones with 43 seconds to go in that first quarter.
You know, Dylan Thompson sometimes can throw some ugly passes. I mean, quite honestly, sometimes he's just not accurate. That right there may be the prettiest one he's ever thrown. He flipped it, just flipped it. He has the perfect throwing motion up around his head, up around the ear, as Coach Spurrier calls it. But he just flipped it that time. Dylan Thompson, a nice throw. He's only completing 56%, which is not bad of his passes, but that one was right on target.
That's the 5th score of the year for Nicky Jones, and Elliott Fry caps it off. So the 4th down and 1 risk in their own territory turns into 6 points for the Gamecocks on the very next play. Dylan Thompson comes off the bench and throws the touchdown to Nicky Jones. And Nicky'd kind of been quiet in the touchdown range, Tommy, really since Georgia in a big breakout game. He's been having struggles to get into the end zone.
Well, they moved him around a little bit. You know, they kind of moved him out of that slot position and moved him over behind Bird a little bit in the wideout situation. So because of the emergence of Rowland, they put Rowland in that slot. They're moving some people around, but I think the main reason is Shaq Rowland has begun to come into his own, and they want to get the ball to him. So, you know, Nick Jones, though, been very critical to our success this year.
Tommy, we just watched the replay here on the big Jumbotron. You talk about the pass. You said it already. Right between two defenders on Nick Jones' hip. Gorgeous play from Dylan Thompson. TD Bank, America's most convenient bank, is partnering with the South Carolina Center for Fathers and Families to help make a difference together. For every South Carolina touchdown, TD Bank will make a donation to the South Carolina Center for Fathers and Families. As you pull for the Gamecocks to score another touchdown, TD Bank is working to make a difference in South Carolina. Landon Ard to kick off again.
So these people's arms are going to be hurting.
Landon, end over end, deep to that near side and back. Touchback again for Landon Ard, whose leg might be wore out a little bit because there's 28 points on the board. And we're not out of the first quarter here at Williams-Brice Stadium. That's another Gamecock kickoff brought to you by RE/MAX. When you get ready to kick off your search for a new home, visit RE/MAX.com. RE/MAX, outstanding agents, outstanding results.
Gamecocks have to continue the intensity, though. This is what we have not been able to do for the last few years. Sometimes it's just we kind of drop off and lose it. I don't think that'll happen today, but you never know. So Carolina just got to keep that intensity up.
Chanticleer's trying to get something going. They'll start wide receiver screen outside to get a block. Matt Hazel catches it, pushes up across the 30 and tries to get to the marker. Terrell Blanks was the guy assisting him. That looks like a 10-yard gain. The first play of the game, Tommy, was a 25-yard gain. The rest of that first quarter until that play, well, including that play, 14 plays, 35 yards. That's it. Chanticleer's back to work. They're going to take their big back inside. He's pounding over a couple of Gamecocks and pushing up to the 45. Taillefer gains 10 yards. So back-to-back 10-yard gains for the Chants with 15 seconds, 14, now 13, rolling here in the first quarter. They're back to work. Taliaferro had to readjust his shoe. The big back set all kinds of Big South records. And Coastal won't get off another play, and they'll be blanked in the first quarter because Carolina's put 28 on the board. Dylan Thompson with the last of it right before the clock runs out at Williams-Brice Stadium. We'll be back with the second quarter on the Gamecock IMG Sports Network. To start the second quarter, it's been all Gamecocks. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Carolina football. Now the Gamecocks had put together 18 touchdown drives this season of 75 yards or longer. 4 have been 90 yards or more. And Tommy, they've already got a 10-play, 85-yard drive, 35-yard touchdown throw to Shaq Brolin. They got a 9-play, 63-yard drive. Jamari Smith, the freshman back, goes from 3 yards out. And that was his first rushing touchdown of his career. Then after the turnover, we go lightly. Just one play for Dylan Thompson. 35-yard strike to Nick Jones, and we get to 28-0 here as we start the second quarter to play, but a couple back-to-back 10-yard gains for the Chants. Dion Green, 6'4", 287-pound sophomore from Windermere, Florida, in the game at defensive tackle. Alex Ross, the quarterback from Alpharetta, Georgia, takes the snap. Shotgun, throws quickly out in the flats. Taliaferro, the big back, catches it. Can't spin away from T.J. Holloman, but does gain 4 on the play. It'll be second down and 6.
He does everything. He's carried the ball 220 times coming into today's game for 1,466 yards, and he's caught 15 passes for 100 yards.
Alex Ross steps up to the line of scrimmage to try to check something off. Takes shotgun snap, going to run it right side. Taliaferro trying to cut back. Nobody there, then wrapped up, turned up, and kicked back to the ground by Gerald Dixon, Little G, along with Dion Green. Both of them on the stops. Nice play, -2 on the play.
Yeah, Green is someone Gamecocks fans probably haven't heard that much about, but he's a good player as well. Number 93 for Carolina. He's a sophomore, 6'4", 290.
Darius English in the game on this pass rush situation with 14:04 to go in the second quarter. Third down, 8 yards to go for Coastal. And Joe Moglia wants a timeout on the field. He didn't like what he saw. First timeout on the field. The Gamecocks leading this one 28-0. We'll step away while the Chants think about it. We'll be back on the Gamecock IMG Sports Network. Williams-Brice Stadium, Gamecocks up 28-0. And Carolina, boy, they've done some damage this year in their first quarters at home. They've outscored their opponents 97-14 at Williams-Brice Stadium. Amazing in the first quarter.
I think also it's time for us to say something good about this defensive unit that got somewhat maligned early part of the year. Number 3 in the SEC in rush defense, number 3 in total defense, number 3 in holding opponents to first downs, number 4 in the SEC in allowing points. So, you know, pretty good stats when the two teams you're following are Alabama and Florida.
There's no question.
Defense.
They have flown under the radar here
the
last
really
couple
have.
of games, though.
Yeah.
All right, stacked wide receivers on a 3rd down and 8 for Alex Ross, calling for the football. Here's the blitz up the middle. Ross into the pocket, being pressured, chased, and drugged down. A good effort, but he's about 2 yards short of the first down for the Chants. Marquise Roberts finally pulling him down, but Ross, a big quarterback, drug him for a little bit.
Victor Hampton that time deserves a lot of credit because they want to go on him. I don't know why, unless that's where their system is designed on the right side, because Ross is a right-handed thrower, but he really was in the pocket of Hazel the wideout that time, and he had no place to go. Never had enough time to go through his progressions, so good defensive play by the secondary. Speaking
of Hampton, he sits back at the 10-yard line to return this punt. Kane to boot it away. This one's a little wobbler. Now going to turn over, bounce at the 2-yard line, and go in the end zone. Good job by Victor, not backing up. And the Darlington native got a lot of compliments this week from Steve Spurrier about some of the things that Victor has done quietly out in the community, going to see people and reading to students. And Victor is a dynamic guy in a lot of different ways, but that's a great trait I hope he'll carry on to the rest of his career.
Yeah, I think, you know, everybody knows the story of Victor. He came from a real difficult background, but he really worked. When he got to Carolina, a lot of people bet against him. They really did.
Well said. You're right.
And I tell you got to hand it to Eric Hyman. Eric Hyman, the former athletics director, kind of took him under his arm, tried to be somewhat of a fatherly figure to him as much as he could, and others did as well. Coaches did too, don't get me wrong there, but really helped the kid find himself. And he really had a great summer with a lot of different people, and just has really worked into being a good leader. Got off to a little rocky start, taking some chances, receiving punts and all, but he's really coming to his own.
Jamari Smith in the backfield with Dylan Thompson, and Smith breaks out at the 30-yard line. The diminutive back breaks across the 40. Boy, what a burst from the little man, a 20-yard gain. He goes 5'10", 183, a freshman from Jacksonville. Now you know why Steve Spurrier wanted him back on the offensive side of the ball. If you didn't see the story, of course, a highly recruited running back moved to defense to get some corner help for the Gamecocks, then move back. Steve Spurrier said he's just an offensive player. First down and 10. Ball up to the 40. Dylan Thompson wants to throw it again. He's 1 for 1 on the day with a touch. This one a beautiful curl route at the Coastal 40-yard line to Shaq Rowland. Right on time. 21 yards. I don't care what you say. There's a lot of pretty things. The go route, the fade in the end zone, but a curl route thrown on time is not much prettier.
I tell you, you got that zone in there. You clean out the linebackers. The throwing zone is just uninterrupted between the sight of the quarterback to the receiver, and you're throwing it to Shaq Rowland, who's now caught 4 today for 72 yards.
Instant offense in at quarterback. Thompson takes it out of the gun again, looking left side, wants to heave one down the near sideline. A streaking Rowland can't connect. Over his head by about a yard or two. Rowland, who's a pretty big wide receiver, may have been able to lay out. He goes 6'1", 173, and I think that was floating more than he thought. That's easy for me to say from 100 yards above the stadium looking down.
Well, you know, I'm with you on that. Sometimes these receivers now all over America, they just don't go horizontal out there sometimes, and that's their call. They judge it. They got a better view than we do.
Second down and 10 after the incompletion. 28-0 Gamecocks, 12:07 in the second quarter. Thompson back to work again. Takes quick steps, throws curl route. One hops it. That's one of those ones, Dylan, looked like he rushed it to Damiere Byrd, and it was wide open on the curl route. But the incompletion's going to bring up 3rd and 10.
You know, that's what I mentioned earlier about sometimes he throws ugly passes. I don't mean that disparagingly against Dylan at all, because he's a great kid from a great family. But that's one of those you got to complete. There's no reason to throw that in the dirt like that, but you know, you never know why. And Dylan got a little bad foot movement that time back there. His feet weren't in position to make the throw like you need to on that curl-in route.
We'll be able to watch his feet on this down. Nobody in the backfield. Empty set for Dylan Thompson. Coastal making some changes. Damari Smith comes out, splits out left side. Shotgun snap, blitz. Dylan throws far sideline, way over the head. Now there's a flag on the play. Could be holding on Damiere Byrd. All out blitz by Coastal, and they may have held on to one of the speedy Gamecock receivers. We'll get the call.
That's what Damiere Byrd is saying anyway. When he turned around and looked at the official, he put his hands out wide and says, my gosh, I was held that time, and he saw the flag.
Defense number 6. 10-yard penalty for the previous spot. Automatic first down.
I tell you, Pernell Williams, who's kind of an undersized safety, really in trouble out there. Looks outmatched on a couple plays so far. And he holds on to Damiere Byrd there and gives the Gamecocks a break, a first down on the automatic movement of the chains. And it'll be just inside the Coastal 30-yard line with a 28-point lead. Second quarter, 11:54 to go. Tommy Suggs, Langston Moore, I'm Todd Ellis. Pistol formation for Dylan Thompson. He wants to run it. Sean Carson banging through the line of scrimmage, runs over a Coastal Carolina player and finally knocked down at the 19-yard line, but not before he gains 11 yards. Physical run over Quinn Backus, the middle linebacker from Greenwood, South Carolina.
Yeah, Johnson over there too at linebacker. Both those guys took a pretty good hit that time from Carson. We underestimate Carson. We say he's short, but he also weighs 220.
Sean laid it all on the line that time. Pistol formation, fake inside, Thompson looking left side, corner route. Over the shoulder, Farrell Cooper. Caught! Touchdown, Carolina. Touchdown, Pharoh Cooper. The first of his career from 18 yards out. Beautifully thrown. Cooper leaving his feet, and it's 34-0 Carolina.
Todd, I believe they're going to look at that one again, though, and I'm not saying it's not a touchdown, but it's a lot closer than I think the fans think on whether he was in bounds when he came down. He left his feet, made a great catch on it, but if they review it, which I think they will, now hopefully it'll be okay, but no need to call it back now, but let's see what happens.
Still getting set for the extra point for the moment. They're taking a look at it either way, whether they stop it or not. So Fry comes up, swings his leg, jumps up and down, and
good.
Got it. Pharoh Cooper takes the catch from Dylan Thompson. And now Dylan's thrown 2 touchdowns on the afternoon, and Carolina leads it 35-0 on the Gamecock IMG Sports Network. Into this one, Tommy, Pharoh Cooper has been used in a lot of roles. Punt returner, a Wildcat quarterback, slot receiver, gets his first touchdown as a Gamecock.
Yeah, he laid out for it down there, too. And as I said earlier in the broadcast, right when he caught it, I thought it may have been one that they would review. But after looking at the replay, he clearly had his knee down and maybe even his foot down. So the official was right there, and evidently it was pretty obvious from their vantage point. But, Pharoh Cooper, just really a great athlete. Gamecocks were proud to get him out of North Carolina. And 285 yards total offense right now, Todd, for the Gamecocks to 79 for Coastal Carolina.
Here's Landon Ard, this time kicking towards that north end zone. Devin Brown taking it a yard deep, going up the far sideline. 10, 15, 20, running hard into some Gamecocks. Still on his feet for a moment. It may be punch drunk.
I think that was Landon Ard that hit him.
That was a great lick. I know that. 24-yard return on the play. And that was Cedric Cooper, who's got the body to lay it on him. That's another Gamecock kickoff brought to you by RE/MAX. When you get ready to kick off your search for a new home, visit RE/MAX.com. RE/MAX, outstanding agents, outstanding results.
Following the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 10 of the kicking team. 15-yard penalty, first down.
That's Sky Moore, we believe, who may have stood over. I didn't see it, so I'm not going to speculate, but it's on Sky Moore, the linebacker. Boy, Tommy, he's really coming into his own, hadn't he? Leading the team in total tackles.
Yeah, I think the entire defense has come into their own. And I got to give Coach Whammy Ward and the entire staff over there a lot of credit. You got them in line early in the year, and we kept saying the Gamecocks had lost 6 of the 8 top tacklers and 3 linebackers that were critical to our success the last couple of years. And these guys have really come on. They've matured, doing a real good job.
Dalton Demos in at the Wildcats. No, check that. That's Lorenzo Taylor-Farrow, the big tailback, going Wildcat for the Chanticleers. He gains just 1 yard. It's second down and 9 yards to go. 10:55 to go in this second quarter. All Gamecocks 35-0. Demos comes split out, but it'll be Taylor-Farrow again in the Wildcat, straight up the middle. Nothing but Garnett laying all over him. That's a 2-yard gainable play. It'll be third down, about 7 or 8 yards to go. That's a good sign. Darius Inglis and Mason Harris making stops, Tommy. You're going to see quarterback runs next week, and everybody's been pretty successful out of the Wildcat with their quarterback this year. So far, not much tonight for the Chants. Alex Ross back in at quarterback. It's a third down and 7 for the sophomore from Alpharetta, Georgia. Working out of the gun now. Taylor-Farrow to his right. Shotgun snap, blitz by the Gamecocks. Ross looking left side, throwing out route, in and out of the arms of Matt Hazel and Victor Hampton covering on the play. Oh, Vic almost had pick 6 in his back pocket. Great coverage. Good coverage today by the corners in general, and that brings up fourth down.
I tell you, Victor broke on that as well as you've ever seen one. It reminded me of Jonathan Joseph breaking on that one at Tennessee. The few games Jonathan Joseph played
on that one too.
Yeah, and Victor he just missed it. And I think Hazel had his hand in there a little bit and caused him to drop it, but nice play by Victor.
Pharoh Cooper with his first touchdown as the Gamecock stands back to receive this punt of Kane. This one's a good one hit. Pushing Pharoh Cooper over to the far sideline. No fair catch. Hit immediately, and they drop him back.
I think that's a targeting. I think that may be a targeting that time on Coastal Carolina.
The flag is on the far sideline. They mark it at the 16. It was a 41-yard punt. Cooper not ready to fair catch that one. And I believe Johnny Houston, a backup linebacker, may have struck Cooper right in the head in the face mask. And of course, they're protecting everybody this year on that.
Todd, we talk about our defense, but Kwan Lewis seems to be playing better. He's making more and more tackles. And if you go back and look at the last 2 or 3 ball games, he is one of the leading tacklers we've had in there. That middle linebacker position is so key to this football team because Shaq Wilson played there forever, and he called out the coverages, not the coverages, the schemes on defense. But Kwan Lewis is playing better, and a lot of those guys playing better over there.
Here comes Matt Alston with the call. Now he's going to reset again and ask another official.
He forgot what it was.
5-minute conversation. Forget it when you walk away. Hey, I can't say
done a pretty
anything.
Good job.
I can't say anything about that.
I agree with that 100%.
How many times you walk into your office or the kitchen and forget why you came in there?
Or forget your name. Whatever you say, Bob. Here we go.
Following the catch, personal foul, targeting, offense number 26, 15-yard penalty. By rule, number 26 is disqualified. First down. The play is under further review.
Further review for the targeting to see if the ejectment is appropriate, but the Gamecocks do gain the 15 yards after the penalty. It is Johnny Houston, the safety, senior from Greenville, South Carolina, played his football at Woodmont. That's a tough play too. You got to call it, but my gosh, you're a coverage guy against a punt returner. You're running straight up full speed. It's hard to adjust, but they're calling these folks not because they want to be mean to these players. They're calling them because they can't have kind of these major collisions. Speaking of which, did you see the Mississippi State player last week on the kickoff return? Oh my gosh, on the sideline. Maybe as vicious a hit. It was a short kickoff, bouncing once. He tries to run up and right into the collision of it. He actually got up. I never saw whether he was okay or not after that. But that's what they're trying to avoid.
Yeah, I think he was okay because it was not targeting. They hit around the shoulder pads. This one right here, though, was definitely head-to-head. Houston went right after with the head straight to Cooper, so it was a good call.
Adams Bookstore is the new home of the Verizon Call-In Show. After all home games this season, we'll be at Adams broadcasting the show live because
After
Adams.
review, the ruling on the field is confirmed.
That's an ejectment. Well, Tommy, that's interesting too for the Chanticleers
because
whether that would apply with an open date should they play in the playoffs.
I think
they're missing a week. It's the next game.
Next game. I think he's out for the first half of the next game, right?
35-0. Gamecocks get the benefit of a penalty. They'll start 1st and 10 when we come back on the Gamecock IMG Sports Network. Adams Bookstore. After every home game, no matter how late it is, the game finishes. Don't sit in traffic. Listen to our show, but you can listen while you shop for the latest Gamecock gear here at Adams Bookstore. Let's go over to Brent Johnson for a Red Baron scoreboard. Brent?
On the Red Baron SEC report, Arkansas and Mississippi State are tied at 10 and the third period. Come back with a couple more scores in a moment.
Thank you. Back to work. And into the backfield is Brandon Wiles. Brandon Wiles breaking out and going across the 50 into the Chants territory and down to around the 42-yard line. That's a 27-yard gain on the play.
Listen to this crowd, too. They're acknowledging that. They knew number 22 had some injury issues, and glad to see him back out there.
Brandon Wiles, who had the hamstring problem last week, did not play. Sets up behind Dylan Thompson, who's already thrown 2 touchdowns, but they'll work 22 again. Again, he almost came out of the pile, but they grab him around the ankle at the 38. We'll call it a 4-yard gain on the play. 2nd and 6 upcoming. You know, Brandon, Tommy, nothing can hold him back. He's got the skill set from Blythewood, South Carolina. In this season until today, he had 30 carries for 141 yards. He had a touchdown against Georgia and a TD reception through the air. And he's just had the injury bug with that elbow hyperextended and then the hamstring.
He's that big back we need back there, 6'2", about 225, and of course Davis
soft hands.
Yeah, exactly.
Dylan Thompson splits him in the backfield. He'll go to working through the air again. He's got Farrell Cooper at the 31. Farrell cutting back at the 20 and down to the 14-yard line. Cooper with a nice move, but a great read by Dylan Thompson. They just pushed that zone way back. Thompson not getting greedy and hit his back in slot receiver out into the flat. A 24-yard gain, another Carolina first down. Boy, Gamecocks rolling right now, Tommy.
Yeah, they look really good. Good mix of run and pass calling there by the coach. He's in the zone too. Good stuff.
Thompson will get in the backfield. One back is Brandon Wilds, 6'2", 223. And they'll fake inside. Thompson throws into the flat quickly to Buster Anderson, slightly behind the junior, who goes 6'5", 242 from Powder Springs, Georgia. Buster still without a touchdown. That's just probably the strangest thing on the team. He caught 8 in his young career of just 26 receptions and been blanked this season.
Missed one game this year. He's only played 9 coming into this one because of an ankle injury, but still very, very well-rounded receiving football player.
Second down, 10 yards to go. It's at the Coastal Carolina 14-yard line. Brandon Wilds in at tailback. First action in several games. Steve Spurrier doesn't like the play. Thompson doesn't look over. Handoff inside. Wilds working pretty well right here. Brandon powering inside the 5. Diving down. They're going to call him at the 1-yard line. Far official says touchdown. One got him marking at the 1. One says touchdown. And they'll spot it at the 1. They're still talking about it. Tommy, I'm not sure that last launch got the TD.
Yeah, I think it's a touchdown. The runner's knee was down at the 1-yard line. First down.
First and goal after the 13-yard run from Brandon Wilds.
Give it to him again. Let him score.
I like your idea. Pistol formation. Shotgun snap. Wilds right side. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. Touchdown, Brandon Wilds from 1 yard out. Boy, he slaps the football like it's so good to be back. And Carolina's up in the second quarter, 41-0.
I'm beginning to relax. That did it for me right there. I'm okay right now.
Oh, my goodness. Tommy Suggs, only one like him. He worries for all of us. That's a good thing, though. Because in a couple hours, we'll all start worried about next week.
Well, let me tell you, there's a lot of people already there.
Good point. Elliott Fry with the extra point attempt, and it's good. A dark afternoon at Williams-Brice Stadium sees the Gamecocks lighting it up. The scoreboard, though, 42-0 over Coastal Carolina from the Big South.
You know, Todd, we talked about this earlier, but, you know, Coastal Carolina's a very good football team in their class. So what they've got to do now is think about what we're doing here, because they've already lost Houston. Well, no, let's correct that. They didn't. Yes. They did not lose him for next week. I said that. That's wrong, folks. They lose him for the rest of this ball game. He can play next week if they do not get the automatic qualifier, or the next week whenever they play. But you got to think about this, because I know, you know, they want to move
about it this week, and I think that's okay.
I do too. I like that. I like that. You know, because they're trying to get through their division, and they understand what the whole situation is.
Let's go down to Langston Moore on the sideline.
Yeah, talking to Brandon Wilds before the game, he was fired up to go. You know, got a little bit more inspiration from last week when Coach Spurrier didn't expect him to have that hamstring deal. So he came out there obviously pounding away to get into the end zone there in the last drive.
Yeah, Langston, you're right. He looked like a young teenager. He's a young man anyhow, but he looked like a young player getting back out there in Pop Warner football for the first time. And who can blame him? For goodness sakes, he's first time he goes out against Tennessee, he goes over 100 yards for us. He's been a power back, a 30-plus carry guy, and he's been relegated with injuries and the emergence of Mike Davis. And so Brandon Wilds trying to get back out on that field a little bit more.
He will always go down in the halls of fame for Carolina because of what he did when Marcus Lattimore went out. As a true freshman, not that highly recruited, but I tell you, he really played well a couple years ago.
Kickoff Gamecocks. Devin Brown about 8 yards deep. Touchback. Landon Art, a good job today. He's gotten his work in his first half as well. 7:53 to go. Chanticleer's not much working at all on offense, Tommy, for the guys from down at the beach.
No, they came in averaging 512.5 yards per carry. 284 of that was rushing. Today, they have 19 yards rushing with 7:53 to go in the first half. Only 82 yards total offense.
1st and 10 for Coastal at their own 25. Ross wants to go to work. Wide receiver screen left side. One block, another. Breaking the tackle. Matt Hazel spins for a first down. Around the 36-yard line, a 12-yard gain on the play. And good blocking from the wide receiver core before T.J. Holloman makes the stop. Joe Moglia in his 2nd year at Coastal Carolina. Former America Trade CEO, now the chairman of the board. Made millions of dollars and said, I love football, and coming back to coach, which he started early in his career. Ross wants to throw it again. Quick in route, got his wide receiver. Turning, trying to get to the marker, can't do so. John Israel with the catch. 5-yard gain on the play. Let's check with Brent Johnson again on the scoreboard.
Red Baron SEC report again. Arkansas, Mississippi State tied at 10 in the 3rd. Florida up early on Georgia Southern 3-0. Alabama up on Chattanooga 7-0. That one in the 1st period. Todd?
A lot of big action tonight. We'll keep an eye on that. And the Hardy's halftime report coming up. But right now, Ross, handoff inside on the inside zone to D'Angelo Henderson, the 5'8", 200-pound redshirt freshman from Summerville, South Carolina. Played his football at Summerville, the famed program. They call him Hop. I like that nickname, Hop, for a tailback.
Coach McKissick down there said he's one of the best, if not the best, running backs he ever coached. Very high.
That's saying a lot.
Yeah, it really is, that guy.
3rd down and very short. 42-0 Carolina. The chance trying to get to midfield. Alex Ross out of the shotgun. Long snap count. Looking right side, throwing late. Got his man in the flats. Matt Hazel with a quick option route down to the Gamecock 44-yard line. Quick catch, quick throw, first down for Coastal on a 10-yard gain.
Carolina playing a lot of people on defense right there now. Not quite getting the push they were, but a lot of different people playing, which is good.
Jordan Diggs on that tackle. 4-man front for Carolina. Ross back to work with a full wide receiver set. They want to run it inside. Ross hands off. Delangelo Henderson busting out and coming down the near sideline for the Gamecocks before Marquise Roberts makes the stop. I don't know how he came out of that pile, but he gains 9 on the play. And quickly, some substitutions for Carolina as Coastal Carolina is threatening almost to the Gamecock 35-yard line. 5:35, 5:34 left in the half. The Chanticleers, who've been averaging 45 points per game, are blank so far. Ross out of the gun. Full wide receiver set. Again, a long snap count. Takes the snap. Pump fake. Looks left side, now right. Throws back down the field. Got his man there. Over the shoulder in traffic and caught. Tyrell Blanks unbelievably brings the football down with 3 defenders within 3 yards. Tommy, they just didn't see it. A 34-yard gain. 1st and goal for Coastal.
Well, just a great throw that time by Ross, and Carolina got a little confused back there.
The big back, Taylor Farrow, back in to the left side of Ross, still working out of that gun. Carolina pressuring. Taylor Farrow right side into the pile. Good push by Mason Harris. Pushes back the big tailback for 230-pounder from Yorktown. Virginia can't move it. We're going to call it -1 on the play. Great pressure. Dion Green still in there. Let's go down to Langston Moore on the sideline as well. Talk about Dion and his play in that defensive front.
Yeah, guys, Dion Green himself specifically had a knee injury over a year ago. The good news for him is he took the knee brace off today, coming to get some full action. A lot of those guys have confidence issues when they don't play without that knee brace, especially coming off a knee injury.
8th play of the drive. 2nd and goal for Coastal. No points on the board for them today. 4 seconds left on the play clock. 2-1, shotgun snap. Ross looking left side, pump fake. Now under pressure, now rolling right, being chased. Throwing it to 15 into the end zone. Incomplete, good coverage. Boy, how many times this year have the Gamecocks pressured good quarterbacks, Tommy, but not brought them down in the backfield? And Carolina's got a man down towards that south end zone. Out of bounds near where the cement goes. That's J.J. Marcus. That's not good as he's subbing for the injured Bryson Williams.
Yeah, as you said, a lot of pressure this time by Carolina, and has all year long. And I don't think it's necessarily negative against Carolina at all, Todd. I think the quarterback's now more mobile. They move around back there. It's not a Johnny Mansell rather, but what you're seeing is just more mobilization by the quarterback. So it's hard to get those sacks when you got somebody who can run around back there. If they once get out of the pocket, those quarterbacks now get rid of it and they throw it away and they do things they're supposed to do.
J.J. Marcus pops up, and he was already on the Gamecock sideline. The athletic training staff pulls him there, and the Gamecocks are set up for a 3rd and goal defending. Taylor in the backfield, the big back to the right of Alex Ross, who's gone all the way at quarterback. He moves the receiver to the left side, got 3 to the wide side of the field. Shotgun snap. Ross got his man in the flats, caught. Flag on the play, they drop him though at the 1-yard line. Taylor Farrow, they tried to sneak him out the backside. Victor Hampton, the veteran, read it.
Todd, that may be a pick play that time on number 18, Map for Coastal Carolina, or holding on Carolina. That's the 2 options I think we got right here, but we'll see what the call is. Looks like to me that little pick play that time really was a block and just a little bit offensive pass interference, possibly in the end zone. We'll see.
Victor Hampton with an overhead double bicep shot, so I guess it's against
no foul
Coastal.
For offensive pass interference because the ball did not cross the line of scrimmage. 4th down.
There you go. It was going to be called offensive pass interference. Yeah, but the pass didn't go across the line of scrimmage, so I think my read on that one was right. It was obvious up here.
Great play by Victor.
Yes.
Because he had to come off his man to make the tackle when he saw the pick.
Yeah.
4th and goal.
Everybody does that. They just don't do it quite as obvious as that one was done.
10th play of the drive. Carolina trying to keep them blank here in the first half at Williams-Brice Stadium. 3:44 to go. The crowd wants it. Let's see if this defense can hold them up. 7 seconds left on the play clock for Coastal. Ross looks a little distressed. Calls for the football. Shotgun snap. Looking left side. Under pressure. Ross slips away. Rolling left side. Trying to turn his shoulders. Throwing the end zone. Caught. Touchdown. Alex Ross gets 6 on the board. Ridiculous escape again in the grasp of Sky Moore. But he gets away to find an open receiver from 2 yards out, and it's 42-6 Carolina.
Got to give him credit that time. A great play by very, very effective quarterback Alex Ross, and came into this game completing 65%. He's had a tough day today so far. Only 12 of 19 is not too bad, but just not able to get anything going offensively. That time a great play.
Catch run to attempt the extra point. Coastal's got it, and it's 42-7. Good looking drive for the Chanticleers, and a great play by Alex Ross there at the end. Tommy, they were late getting set up. He was late getting set up. And to turn back and find his open receiver in the end zone under that kind of pressure, you see Sky Moore just shake his head as Ross got away from him. They didn't want to give up that 6, but still a big lead for the Gamecocks with 3:23 to go in this first half.
Yeah, 75 yards, 10 plays, and what he did so well that time is not only escape back there, but moving to his left, Todd, he squared that body, upper body to the target, and was able to throw back. A little Mansell action out there, quite honestly, and a nice throw, good catch.
Yeah, under pressure, going to your left and still turn the shoulder, so tough. Unleash your inner man beast with all-you-can-eat baby back ribs at Fats Cafe for just $12.99. Fire-grilled, fall off the bone, and full of flavor. Served with fries, coleslaw, and poppy seed rolls for a limited time only. Only at Fats. Tommy Suggs, Langston Moore. I'm Todd Ellis. Good to be with you. David Spence, our spotter today. Douglas Adams, our statistician. Kershaw in the booth. You know Brent Johnson, our studio host. He'll have the Hardy's halftime report upcoming. And Alex Ketron to a kickoff for Coastal. Farrow Cooper takes it at the 2-yard line. Up across the 10, 20. Trying that far sideline. Farrow drops his shoulder down and gets knocked down. They'll run him out of bounds around the 30-yard line or so. We'll call it a 28-yard return for Cooper, who's done it all today. Played some Wildcat, caught a touchdown out of the slot. Gamecocks have played a couple of quarterbacks on the day. Connor Shaw is, by all accounts, going to get his 25th all-time win as a starter, but he took to the benched fairly early. Was that the first quarter, Tommy? I think Connor came out in the first quarter. Yeah.
I think it was, yes.
Because the touchdown by Thompson to Jones was right before the first quarter ended. Sean Carson in the ball game again. We saw Brandon Wilds. We've seen Jamari Smith, and now Dylan Thompson got Carson. And they'll go with Carson right side, cutting back. Carson across the 30, up to a 34-yard line. Drop down for a 4 or 5-yard gain on the play. Clayton Stadnick in the ball game now at center. Hadn't seen Stadnick, Tommy, since Cody Waldrop got well last week against the Gators, but no shame in that. Both those guys playing pretty good at center.
They really are. Waldrop just needs some playing time because he missed most of the year, and he was a redshirt freshman, so he needs to just be on the field.
Jarrell Adams puts his hand down on the left side. Pistol formation. High snap. Handled by Thompson. Handoff Carson. Everything off to the left side. Thrown out of whack. And Carson gains just 1 on the play. It'll be third down, about 4 yards to go with 2:30 in the second quarter.
Yeah, we ought to give Thompson a reception on that one.
Dylan, pretty good athlete. Obviously,
yeah.
At Boiling Springs, he averaged 18 points a game. I asked him about it one time. He describes himself as kind of a lunch pail basketball player. I said, I don't know that many guys that scored 18 a game. Kane Whitehurst one of Dylan's favorite targets. He's caught 2 touchdowns from him this year. He'll line up in the slot. Jarrell Adams steps over to the right side. Carson in the backfield. Third down. Pump fake left side. Now rolling right side is Thompson under big time pressure. Doesn't get rid of the football and is sacked all the way back at the 21-yard line. He didn't put it up in the air, but he didn't get rid of it either. Minus 15 and 4th down for the Gamecocks. First punting situation of the day. Cameron Summers was the man who sacked Dylan Thompson.
Yeah, it didn't look real comfortable that time under the rush, and where he made the initial mistake was the blitz came on the right side, and Carson was bowing out behind the blitz. So had he gone to him, Carson would still be running.
Yeah, instead of faking the setup screen that time, they should have just run it.
Just run it, exactly.
Tyler Hall with his first punt, takes his time. Head down, comes up, ball spinning. Turns over and caught. Zach Silverberg, fair catch right around the 40-yard line. That's a 36-yard punt. No way that was going to be returned. Actually make that around the 43. So Coastal, that put their first 7 on the board, will have 1:08 to go and 2 timeouts remaining in this first half.
First punt for the Gamecocks today. Other than that, scored on every possession.
Brent Johnson, I see him over there looking over the scoreboard. Red Baron scoreboard at halftime. On the Hardee's halftime report, he'll have the Time Warner Cable highlights. Plenty of those for the Gamecocks in this first half as they're up big time on this Big South opponent, Coastal Carolina. First time ever these guys have met. Alex Ross still in at quarterback. 11-1 is the starter for Joe Muglia, and he wants to throw it. Looking left side, back shoulder, thrown to his wide receiver, battling for it with Victor Hampton, caught far sideline. Can't cover much better than that, but Matt Hazel with a great catch. He's got 162 career receptions coming into today. And Coastal back to work with 54 seconds to go. Press coverage on the outside. Ross wants to throw it. Underneath, got his man. Ooh, immediately hit high and low by the Gamecocks. Terrell Blanks blown up, but he does get 7 yards and pops up pretty quickly. Good for him, who at 6 foot 160 took a couple tough hits, including from TJ Holloman. There's the first timeout on this drive, the second of the afternoon in the first half for Coastal Carolina. Really pretty cloudy and overcast here at Williams-Brice Stadium, but another sellout crowd for Carolina today. Gamecocks went undefeated at home a year ago, Tommy. They're going to try to go undefeated at home again in 2013. This one appears to be well on its way. And the Clemson Tigers come next week at 7 o'clock.
You know, we've talked about so many streaks now. The Gamecocks, certainly the longest winning streak at home in America, 16 straight, 10 straight bowl appearances, bowl qualifications for the Gamecocks in a year, last 10 years. 32-3 in the last 35 home games at Williams-Brice.
Remarkable.
Yep.
That's almost better than the home win streak in a lot of ways. 3-man front now. Second down, 3 yards to go. Some movement up front, no flag. Ross calls for the football. Shotgun snap. Got it. Looking left side. Throwing fade route down the sideline. Well covered. Leaping. Knocked out of bounds. Nice job. Vic Hampton knocking it away from Matt Hazel. Boy, those two guys have been battling all day long.
Yeah, they have, and Hampton that time showed some great body control when he went up, spotted the ball. He actually had great position and turned that body to be in a position to make the interception. Just out of his reach was the pass, and Victor, though, good athletic move.
Alex Ross, 14 of 21, 148 and a touchdown. 3rd down and 3, 34 seconds to go. Handoff inside. Taylor Farrow got a 1st down for the Chanticleers on a 4-yard gain. Darius English making the stop. A lot of substitutions, a lot of guys playing. Lorenz Bryan in there at a linebacker spot. 3-man front. They'll rush 4. Ross looking, pump faking, got a man down the seam, caught, hit immediately, but it's down at the 13-yard line. Terrell Blank's heating up now. Chaz Elders making the hit. It's a 21-yard gain, 17 seconds to go in the half. Ross back to work, 3 wide receivers. He spikes it out of the gun. Stops the clock with 14 seconds to go. And Coastal Carolina still has 1 timeout left.
Boy, good call play that time by the coaches on Coastal Carolina, because that seam route, Todd, is the perfect pass to throw against that cover 2 when the guys running that underneath coverage. They just split that, get behind the linebacker, get to the left, or in this case to the right of the cornerback, and the safety doesn't have enough time to come over. And really, Ross does a good job of getting it to him.
Yeah, especially with Ross doing what a lot of quarterbacks do. They look him off to the last
exactly
second.
Right.
So they don't pull the safety over in there. Ross back to work now. 2nd down and 10. 14 seconds to go. Ross under pressure. He's one in the back of the end zone. Incomplete. Has a flag on the play. It could be holding to Mario Bennett, the intended receiver, the former Gamecock. May be getting a break here. Tommy, was that even catchable? Ross trying to throw it out of the back of the end zone.
Yeah, I think that's got to be the call. Was it catchable? I don't think it's going to go there.
Moving on the field, there's no foul for defensive pass interference. The pass was uncatchable.
That's 2 good calls we've made today.
And they've done a good job on the field.
They have, yeah.
You know, if they just follow us, everything will be fine.
We need to put them in on our broadcast. That's what
right.
We'll mess them up.
Well, that would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah, 8 seconds to go.
8 seconds to go in this first half. Carolina up 42-7. Coastal with another opportunity right before the half. 10-1 of the season. The Chanticleers go empty set. Taylor Farrow split out. 5 wide receivers. Alex Ross, 3rd and 10. Shotgun snap. Carolina coming. Ross hit right as he throws it. Tipped up and picked off in the end zone. Hampton brings it out. 5-10, they stepped out of bounds. Hampton would have been gone. Oh, Ross was hit, throws into coverage, and Victor Hampton gets his 5th career interception as there's 3 seconds left in this second quarter.
Victor was smelling pay dirt at that time.
That could have been a pick 6 for 105 yards.
Touchback, first out.
Oh, wow, I don't know how close it was. He tipped it up in the air, caught it. Oh, he did step on the line. Good call again by those officials.
Good pressure that time. Gamecocks blitz from the left side that time from Jordan Diggs. I believe it was number 42 for Carolina, whose father played here. Shad Diggs a long time ago, and not as long as I did. But regardless, good blitz by him, and Ross just had to get rid of it before he wanted to. Hampton again, though, in excellent position, Todd, to make the play. Hazel's caught a couple of passes, but Hampton's been all over him, and that time was able to tip it up and make a good play.
After the turnover, the second of the day, 3 seconds to go. They'll run it with Sean Carson right side, and Sean bullies his way, but still struck down on the play after a 3-yard gain. That'll do it. Our Hardy's halftime report is upcoming after we talk with Langston Moore and Steve Spurrier.
Yeah, Coach, you're able to put up 42 points in the first half.
Yeah, we played pretty well tonight.
Job on those halftime stats and highlights. A lot to hear about the Gamecocks, who lead this one 42-7. Tommy, the same number of plays between these two schools, but the Gamecocks with that 348 in total offense. Coastal did get over 200, though, but well below what their average is. They're averaging over 500 yards a game. And by the way, the Gamecocks here going to take this second half kickoff. One lucky fan could win a brand new Ford if the Gamecocks return this opening kickoff for a touchdown. It'll be Pharaoh Cupo taking it to the 5-yard line. 10, 15, bouncing outside. Stiff arm, then runs over defender, but gets pushed out of bounds, finally up around the 24-yard line. It's a 20-yard return. And there's a flag on the play all the way back at the 35-yard line where the Chanticleers kicked it off.
Todd, you talk about that total offense. Looks like to me the difference is in the rushing yards, because 34 rushing yards for Coastal. Coming in, they were averaging.
Offside, kicking team number 54. 5-yard penalty would be tacked on to the end of the run. First down.
Coastal was averaging 284 yards rushing, only 34 in the first half.
Taliaferro, one of the top backs in the country, up for the Walter Payton Award for that division. And not much room for the big back today. And the Gamecocks have used 3, including Sean Carson. Dylan Thompson in there now. A couple substitutions in the offensive line. But it'll start with Carson bouncing to the left side. Sean hit hard on a good tackle around the 30-yard line, trying to cut back. Gains just 2 on the play, so a good seal block from the outside, but no room there afterwards. Clayton Stadnick in, Will Sport in at right guard for the Gamecocks. And a couple of wide receivers new to the field today. Jamari Smith, who got some time and his first touchdown in the first half, in at tailback for the Gamecocks. Dylan Thompson coming in right at the end of the first quarter and lit it up. He'll go to the air and wants to go deep out route. Got his man, Kane Whitehurst. One move, Kane trying to break away, can't do so. A deep out route around the 50-yard line. Nets 18 yards. They'll spot it at the Gamecock 48. Good timing on the throw from Thompson to Whitehurst.
You know, Todd, and you said if that timing is not right, that's an interception. I mean, just the way it works, folks, with that coverage and that distance to throw it, but not that case right there. Nice completion.
The windows in the passing game in major college football are looking like those little tiny things used to roll out the Ford Fairlane or something, about 5 inches apart. Thompson back to work again, wants to throw the football. Wide receiver screen near sideline, breaking away after the tackle. Quentin Smith in his first reception of the day, and that goes for 17 yards. Man, he almost took it the distance. The 6'4", 212-pound redshirt freshman from Hammer, South Carolina. That's his 4th catch on the year. He's over 47 yards receiving now.
I'll tell you, he's got a lot of talent. Over there in Dillon, great players coming out of that place, and he's going to be fine. He's going to be fine in Carolina.
Brock Stadnick, the brother of Clayton, in at right guard. So the brothers playing side by side as Jamari Smith takes it over to the left side, slicing and cutting inside the 30 down to about the 29. Let's call it a 5-yard gain on the play. The Gamecocks moving well here to open up the third quarter. 13 minutes to go. They lead at 42-7.
And the Gamecocks starting all second-string offensive linemen, Todd. Nobody on the first team on the field right now. That includes wideouts and everything.
KJ Brent checks into the game. Quentin Smith in, we already mentioned. And we'll check the slot in just a moment. Thompson working out of the shotgun. Farrell Cooper in the slot. They'll be handing back off to Jamari Smith again. He runs without fear for 3 yards. It'll be third down and very short. Impressed so far with his young career. Going especially just 5'10", 183, but he runs between the tackles like he's 243. He'll go to the left side of Dylan Thompson, the 6th play of this drive in the second half. Thompson, wide receiver screen, caught outside and diving forward with his big move at 6'4". That frame carries us for a first down because it's a 4-yard gain on the play. Nicely done. Quentin Smith, second catch. Gamecocks moving here, clock moving. Cleared out a little bit, but a lot of Gamecocks still left here. Just a moving tribute, as always, annually to our military service personnel around the world, past and current. Great job by Carolina. Cody, I got it. Cody Gibson in at right guard. Jamari Smith taking it over to the left side. Smith inside the 15 to about the 13-yard line. Right up against the marker again. It'll be second down, about 3 yards to go.
Got a little giddy up about him, doesn't he?
It's explosive. It's really what it is. It's the first step kind of You know, one of the scat backs we've seen out of Florida.
Auburn.
One of the
How about
Auburn
those
scat
guys that
backs,
take
actually.
that? Yeah.
A Dexter McCluster from Ole Miss. But he's our own, Jamari Smith. He splits out to the left side. Dylan Thompson goes empty set on a 2nd down and 2. 11 minutes to go. Carolina up big. Dylan throwing quick out route. Kane Whitehurst caught at the marker, quickly brought down, but it's another Carolina first down. That's actually KJ Brent into the game. KJ from Waxhaw, North Carolina, 1 for 9 yards in 2013. Just got his 2nd. Good thing you would like to see about KJ. He's a Harold White GPA award winner in the spring. And now 3 wide receivers left side on a hushed crowd inside the Coastal 10-yard line. Thompson goes to work, raises the leg up. He's going to run it himself right side. Got 1 block, cutting back. 5, 4, touchdown Carolina. Touchdown Dylan Thompson. The Boiling Springs native doesn't do it through the air this time. The first on the ground for Dylan. That one's good from 9 yards out. It's 48-7.
Well, you get your running game going a little bit, and that always sets up the quarterback keeping it very nicely, and some good blocks on the right side.
I didn't pick up the jersey number on the pulling guard, but man, that was good. Sealed it off nicely.
Yeah, it may have been, well, I don't know who it was over there. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. It may have been Sport at the guard position, but
he got it shielded just perfectly. And here's Elliott Fry to kick it up and good on the extra point. That makes it 49-7 with 10:25 to go in this 3rd quarter. The Gamecocks open up the 2nd half with a 72-yard drive on 9 plays and set the tone.
And set the tone with the 2nd string on the field the entire time. Coach deciding to rest the other guys and put them out there. These guys have said, look, you practiced all year. Now it's time to play as a unit. And I like that. All 2nd stringers on the field. Some guys catching passes that haven't caught them. Of course, Thompson's played some, but all 2nd string. Nice move.
That was actually Clayton Stadnick with a good block. Very good block, pulling from his center position. The redshirt freshman from Greensboro, North Carolina. The Georgia game, of course, when Cody Waldrop got hurt, Clayton comes into that ball game and does a great job. 8 different receivers now, Tommy, have caught passes for the Gamecocks. And I don't care if it's spring practice or the Clemson game, that's good. That's just, you got to get them in there. You got to get on film. You got to see what you're doing wrong in your routes. You got to see who could be explosive on this turf. Great to spread the ball around.
Well, it's good. It's good morale building because everybody's getting to participate. Their parents are here or watching on TV or something. The kids and the friends and all this stuff, as everyone knows. So, and also you just need a little confidence going into next week. Clearly, it will be more difficult next week against Clemson, as it will for Clemson coming in here versus playing the Citadel today. But a little confidence always helps.
Landon Ard, a low line drive wobbler. Devin Brown slips to the ground in that north end zone and takes a knee. That's another RE/MAX kickoff when you got to get ready to sell your home or look for a new home. Visit RE/MAX.com. RE/MAX, outstanding agents, outstanding results. Little breeze here at Williams-Brice Stadium now, but still a very pleasant day for November for football, and especially for the Gamecock fans. They're up big, 49-7.
Gamecocks look like on the defensive side, Todd, maybe sprinkling some second guys in there, but mainly going with the first teamers over there.
And the Chanticleers have made a change at quarterback to watch and protect Alex Ross. Michael Church from Kannapolis, North Carolina, into the ball game, and he'll hand it off left side to Henderson. And moving quickly across the 30-yard line for a 6-yard gain is Henderson. It'll be 2nd and 4. This game is brought to you by South Carolina Blue Retail Center. Got health insurance questions? Visit your local SC Blue Retail Center.
The second team is mainly up front. It looks like the linebackers and the safeties and cornerbacks and all of your first teamers, but up front, you're not playing Qualls, you're not playing Clowney, and some more missing.
Church again handing off left side and getting to the corner and turning it up is Henderson. D'Angelo Henderson knocked out of bounds on that Coastal sideline, not before he gained 10 yards. And a first down for the Chanticleers. 9:47 to go in the 3rd. Carolina's up big. They've done it with a mixture of run, pass today. Some big plays from Connor Shaw. Great throw on 35-yard strike to Shaq Rowland. And Nick Jones caught one from Dylan Thompson. And here's Church with his first throw of the afternoon. Into coverage, almost another pick. Victor Hampton's going to see that one tonight in his dreams because he had 45 yards of open field. John Israel was the intended receiver, and Vic drops his head down. It doesn't have that many opportunities, and Church almost gave it up there.
He's got 2 or 3 more games he can make those catches in.
Victor has played excellent today, no kidding. These are not FCS receivers. They're some of the best in the country, and he's played well. Chris Moody in at safety. They throw it out through the chance. Wide receiver screen to Terrell Blanks. Blanks gets blown up around the 45. He gains 3 on the play, and here comes third down and about 7 yards to go. Victor Hampton with another stop. TJ Holloman checking in at a linebacker spot. Steve Spurrier going for his 75th win at South Carolina.
And Victor Hampton, the leading tackler today so far, Todd. 6 tackles, 6 of those solos, 1 interception, 3 pass breakups.
Little breeze going from east to west as Coastal sets up for a third down and 7 at their own 45. Carolina up 49-7. The shots with with Church. Michael Church at quarterback wants to throw it. Church in trouble, sacked. First sack of the day, TJ Holloman right up the middle from his linebacker spot. Pocket collapses. That's -6, and Church takes off his helmet, pulls the chin strap off as well, and heads towards the sidelines. It's 4th down.
Yeah, the first guy that deserves credit there is Hampton again, because he had him covered, and he had the pass short route on the right side. Hampton had him covered, would not let him get it to him, and then the delayed stunt up through the middle with Holloman worked.
Austin Kane to punt for the Chanticleers at his own 24-yard line. Farrell Cooper back. Boy, they were pressuring that time. Low line driver going to take one bounce. Farrell comes over, picks it up at the 18, trying to get a block. Does so, now in trouble. Back at the 9. Farrell backing up and finally gets back up to the 15. Not a bad idea. You had to pick it up on the run to keep it from rolling inside the 10, and he does so. And there's timeout on the field. 7:45 to go in the third. 49-7 Carolina after the 43-yard punt. We'll be back on the Gamecock IMG Sports Network. Back at Williams-Brice Stadium, the Gamecocks going back on offense here in the third quarter for their second drive of the second half. And Farrell Cooper's going to start out in a Wildcat set. He's already caught a touchdown pass, run for a 9-yard gain, and shotgun snap. He'll hand off on the speed sweep. Demir Bird across the 20, trying to get a block. Coastal Carolina, Chanticleers knock him out of bounds right around the 29-yard line. This is a 13-yard gain. So, Tommy, there's a positive speed sweep for the Gamecocks.
Yeah, we don't see that much. We said that earlier, but good contained block. Those guys have got to pull those linemen and then square up on the linebackers coming out of there and just give them a contained block and let the runner get to the outside, and that's good play right there.
Maybe we ought to hand it to a guy who can run the 60 in 6.60. Demir Bird comes in motion again. Cooper going to fake to him this time, going right side. Cooper all alone. Cooper opens it up at the 50, the 40. Striding at the 20. Nobody going to get him at the 5. Touchdown Carolina. Touchdown Farrell Cooper. 71 yards. That's why you put him in the Wildcat. Good blocking up front, too.
Yeah, it really was. And again, the second string, well, I take that back. I think that was the first string offensive line in there that time. But regardless who it was, offensive line and defensive line playing well together today.
55 points on the board. Let's go down to Langston.
Yeah, guys, all week Coach Spurrier was working on that type of package with Farrell Cooper, and obviously he made it pay dividends for him. But one thing I can say about Farrell, he reminds me just of a player I used to play with by the name of Anquan Bolden, just a thick, tough-nosed player, but a lot faster there, striking out there for a touchdown.
You're right. That's who we've been looking for as a description. Not quite as tall. Elliott Fry kicks it up. He's got the extra point, and it's 56-7 for the Gamecocks. But you're right. He's thick, muscular, and makes plays, and he just cranked out a 71-yard run. One thing about him, Tommy, when he saw that little crease, he was running full speed within the first 3 yards. I mean, he just sensed the end zone, and some players know no matter what the situation, they got a chance, and he did.
Well, it looks like he has the it factor, and I don't know what that is necessarily, but it's a combination of just instinct, vision, just feel, just athleticism, no question about it. But he clearly looks like, even if he doesn't break 171 yards, Todd, for a touchdown, he picks up only 9 yards. He finds the mesh points when a lot of people do not find them. So he's another one that's moved from the defensive side back to the offensive side. Very talented athlete out of North Carolina. Glad to have him as a Gamecock, and he's going to figure more and more into the offensive schemes of Carolina and the return special teams of Carolina going forward.
And I tell you one thing, if you hadn't seen him, and a lot of people haven't, not in warm-ups, at summer practice, he can throw it too. Be ready for that next week out of the Wildcat, because he just broke out a 71-yard touchdown. Devin Brown set back to receive. He's been a little lonely back there. A lot of action, but nobody to help him, and Landon Ard's done a good job of kicking off to try to keep them from getting big chunks. Landon, low line drive, wobbler, bouncing around the 14-yard line. Brown going to get this one around the 1 on the hop. Up across the 10, 15, into a bunch of Gamecocks, and spinning around and down is a tackle on the play. That's T.J. Gurley with the stop to hold it to a 20-yard gain. So good coverage today. The Chants, Tommy, came in with about a 27-yard average in that Big South, and kickoff returns. And between Landon's touchbacks and the good coverage like that, it has not become a weapon. They'll have to start inside that touchback zone. And they got that score late in the second quarter on a good touchdown throw from Alex Ross to Matt Hazel. And Brian Cass is in a quarterback. He's a senior from Raleigh, North Carolina. Two backs in the backfield. A handoff left side. That's Henderson spinning, turning. I'm not sure he got back to the line of scrimmage. And I tell you what, Tommy, every time they've run the inside zone, it doesn't look very clean there. They've got exchange problems between the quarterback and the tailback.
I think that's one thing. I think the other thing is their offensive line, their guards are really having trouble pulling. So even if the exchange was good, I don't believe they get much yards.
Cast out of the gun again. Two backs in the backfield. Chant's going to run the football, inside dive play. Travis Small from Sherrall, South Carolina, 200-pounder, battles forward for 3 yards on that. Small, a senior, so it looks like the Chanticleers are going to some of their veteran backups, trying to get them some time. Again, they're trying to play for a playoff spot and health. They're going to the playoffs, but if Liberty wins today, they'll get that qualifier and get a week off. Can't get any of these guys hurt, as they got a real chance to make the move. Anybody scoring 45 points in your conference on average has got a chance to get deep into the playoffs. Third down, 7 yards to go. Cass, the veteran quarterback, throws it right into coverage. T.J. Gurley with a return all the way back to the 30-yard line. Shed Diggs pulls him off the bottle of the, Jordan Diggs, not his father, who I played with, pulls him off the pile and congratulates T.J. Gurley, an 18-yard return on the play. That's his first pick of the season, and he's got the Gamecocks in great field position. I don't know where Cass was throwing that one. There's timeout on the field. Carolina will take over. We'll watch for some new players out on the field for the Gamecocks with 5:25 to go in the third, leading 56-7 on the Gamecock IMG Sports Network. Stadium, let's get a Red Baron scoreboard with Brent Johnson.
Believe it or not, Florida is struggling with Georgia Southern. 2 minutes to go in the half. Georgia Southern has scored, and it's Florida 10, Georgia Southern 7, with 2 minutes to go in the first half at Florida. Todd?
Yeah, those guys.
I think the big deal down there, though, guys, is how many are in attendance.
No question, a little different day at Gatorville. Brendan Nosovich in at quarterback for the Gamecocks. And he slings it out left side to Jarrell Adams on a tight end screen and picks up 8 yards. Nosovich, the 6'1", 220-pound freshman, redshirt freshman from Allentown, Pennsylvania. This guy came in as a parade All-American and all the attributes. And they say he is a thicker Connor Shaw. Can run the football as well. Jody Fuller in it, wide receiver. Nosovich fakes again, wide receiver screen again, right side. Catching, turning inside the 15-yard line is Jody Fuller. Fuller with a 5-yard gain again.
Hey, Nosovich, I've been a lot of practices. He's a good-looking player. He's a good-looking player. I mean,
he looks like one of those guys who could easily move to H-back or tight end or play outside linebacker. Just a good athlete.
Yeah, well, I think he can move that quarterback. I really do.
Well, I'm not saying he could.
No, I know that.
Yes.
Yeah, he's multi-talented. You're right about it. So could Connor Shaw. You're right about that. But yeah, he's a pretty good player. He'll push Thompson next year.
It's 1st and 10 at the Coastal 15-yard line. Nosovich going to run it inside. That's Brandon Wilds running hard. He hands it off to Wilds, running inside the 10-yard line down to about the 7. We'll call it a 7-yard gain on the play. Going to be second and about 2 or 3 yards to go. Just 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Tommy, they got to be over 400 yards of total offense now.
524 for the Gamecocks in total, rushing 256, passing 268. So not a bad afternoon with 3:47 to go in the third.
Nosovich out of the shotgun, short set with Gist to the right side. Nosovich going to run it himself, stiff arm at the 8, trying to pull away at the 5. Nosovich at the marker right at the 4-yard line. That looks like a first down, and there's a flag very late as they push him out of bounds. There's that power as he gets up from the pile with a little smile on his face, Tommy.
Yeah, 6'1", 220, redshirt freshman, and he's a tough kind of a.
Following the play, dead ball, personal foul, 7 of the defense. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Kind of a linebacker mentality to a degree. Nosovich, highly recruited out of Pennsylvania. Another one of those G.A. Mangus guys up there, along with Demir Bird and Quan Lewis and Nosovich and all of them. So very good. And also a running back, too, that people will be hearing about.
Williams.
Yeah, you're right. Yep.
Nosovich here. The guy threw for 12,000 yards in his high school career. And he's working out of the shotgun. Sean Carson in the ball game. Nosovich going to take it himself left side. A good tackle. Nosovich cut it back instead of taking it to the corner. He might have got to the end zone. It's a 1-yard gain on the play. Sanders with a stop for Coastal. 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. 2nd and goal from about the 1.5. It looks like Garrison Gist, the backup fullback tailback for the Gamecocks, is in, and it'll be a short set of a pistol formation. 6th play of the drive. Jarrell Adams comes over, puts his hand down on the right side. 2 wide receivers left side. Handoff. Carson. Somebody hit him in the backfield. He lurches for the end zone. Got it. Touchdown, Carolina. Touchdown, Sean Carson. Nice job of getting that leg up from that tackler. And goes from 1 yard out. Brett Johnson was the guy getting that penetration in the backfield, but Carson would not be denied, and he gets the score. And the Gamecocks are over 60 with 2:28 to go in this third quarter.
We had a bad angle, but Todd, it looked like he got his arm down there a little bit, his hand down on the ground to just continue him staying off the turf. And, you know, he had a lot of people around him. So, again, I keep saying Carson just getting the field. The more touches he gets, the better he gets, and you're seeing the true Sean Carson.
That's his first touchdown of the year as Elliott Fry comes on to kick it up and get another one. 63-7. Timeout on the field at Williams-Brice. We'll be back on the Gamecock IMG Sports Network. Sean Carson got his first career touchdown as a Gamecock from 1 yard out and made it 63-7 after the Elliott Fry extra point. And Carolina rolling this time, Tommy, with their second stringers, and those guys look pretty good on that drive.
Yeah, they really did. Coach Spurrier decided to start the second half with his second stringers, and with that, Gamecocks moved it down the field and got 7 on the board, and this time continue to play those guys up front. A little bit of Shell out there occasionally, Robinson out there and a few more, but mainly the second string guys up front and the second string guys on the defensive side up front. But on defense, Carolina looks like they're trying to get those young guys some experience. So you got Sky Moore, you got some of those other guys in there that are normal starters. Clearly Hampton's playing a lot today as well. So, but a good call. You're letting everybody play, hopefully, and you know, we feel for Coastal Carolina, but they kind of knew this was coming, so Carolina performing as they should.
Here's Landon Ard again for another kickoff. Boy, he's not losing any of that leg strength. It goes towards the far sideline, high, deep, end over end, and out of the back of the end zone. Touchback with 2:28 to go in this third quarter of play. Everybody getting some work. 10 different receivers, Tommy, for Carolina. 8 different guys have rushed the football.
Yeah, and those stats again, 530 yards in total offense for the Gamecocks. They came in averaging 448, and Coastal Carolina average giving up 417. They have had 219 today in total offense, and they came in averaging 512 yards in total offense.
Let's see who goes at quarterback for Coastal. It'll be Brian Cass, who, no, check that. They're going with their Wildcat quarterback. And that's Dalton Demos, 6'5", 195 pounds from Chesterfield, Missouri. He's a redshirt freshman, tall, lanky guy, but he can run it. And with those black pants on, thin legs, let's see how he does on a 2nd down and 8. He's going to roll right, pump fakes, throwing deep out. Boy, a strike around the 45-yard line. And Demos gets a first down for the Chanticleers on a 20-yard reception. Deep out route to John Israel. So the Gamecocks have played 3 quarterbacks today. Chanticleers have played 4 quarterbacks. And Alex Ross, their starter from Alpharetta, Georgia, is sitting on the sideline waiting for the playoffs. Clock running, 1:25, 1:24 to go in this third quarter. 4-man front for the Gamecocks. Just a 2 deep safeties. Emos wants to throw it again. He's under pressure. Steps up in the pocket, running hard, then dives down as the Gamecocks were tracking him down with Sky Moore, the leading tackler for Carolina, coming into the ball game. It's a 5-yard gain with 1:03 to go in this third quarter.
Demos looks pretty shifty back there, much more so than the other 2 quarterbacks we've seen today.
Big strides running the football. It'll come to me in a minute. Who was that Arkansas? Matt Jones.
Matt Jones, yeah.
Did he look a little like him?
Yep.
Demos wearing number 2, going to hand off left side this time, and Henderson right into the Gamecocks. Good pressure up the field. Nowhere to go for Henderson. Man, that's -5 on that play. Rarely do you see that loss in a run game.
You know, they really have not, they meaning Coastal Carolina, not any yards at all on the outside today. The Gamecock linebackers and corners have really played well, and a lot of that linebacker good play is because their offensive linemen have not able to get seal blocks on the linebackers for Carolina. Our guys have been able to get out there. That has been a problem in the early games this year, but now they seem to be getting a little better.
He rolls out of the shotgun. He wants to throw it under pressure, avoids one man. Bryant now rolls right side, throws in the flats, incomplete around the 40-yard line, and that'll do it in the third quarter. Play runs out. 4th down upcoming. We'll see what Joe Mowgli does when we come back, whether he'll go for it and try to keep his football team on the field to get some experience on offense. It's 63-7. Gamecocks on the Gamecock IMG Sports Network. In one play, especially when it's ringing in the fourth quarter, about ready to start with a 63-7 lead. And the Gamecocks pushing up against some all-time highs here for Steve Spurrier. Still second in points scored by an opponent. The game against Troy, I remember well, in 2010, 69. And 530 yards of total offense right now would place this ball game 5th in production. The record on that one, 639. And most rushing yards, 288 against Kentucky in 2011. Right now, Gamecocks at 262. We'll keep an eye on that. But it's been a big day, to say the least, and a lot of Gamecocks have played some football. The last count, they had 8 rushers who've touched it today and 10 receivers for Carolina. Back set to punt now is Austin Kane. He'll stand at his own 33-yard line. And that is Victor Hampton. Back to receive the punt. Another poor punt from Kane. It hits at the 19 and bounces in a Gamecock favor about to the 22-yard line. Vic never has to touch it. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Carolina. That's just a 29-yard punt for Kane on the day. Don't forget to join us next week after you have your turkey dinner and you grind all week long about that game with the Clemson Tigers. We'll be here 3 hours before kickoff. That'll be around 4 o'clock or so. Kickoff around 7. And my man Perry Orth is coming in at quarterback. Tommy, this is one of Steve Spurrier's most favorite for the Gamecocks. Orth, pistol formation, going to hand off. Right side. That's Jamari Smith pounding into the line of scrimmage. Going to gain maybe 2 on the play.
Yeah, he's a true freshman out of Ponte Vedra, Florida, around Jacksonville. 6'1", 212, another good-sized kid.
Perry Orth runs it and knows it about as good as anybody. Said he's one of the smartest quarterbacks the coach has seen in his system. I really have no doubt he would play him in almost any situation. That much confidence. 2nd down and 8 for Orth. Pump fake inside, throwing wide receiver screen. Caught outside. Whitehurst drops the shoulder down and gets up to about the 30-yard line. A 6-yard gain on the play.
I'll tell you one thing, got a little rocket there on that arm, too. He got it out there. Yeah, he's got
nice, in and out.
Nice throwing motion.
That's one thing about these young quarterbacks now. They're so used to playing in that gun and all this quick throw spread offenses, they're good at catching and throwing. You know, Connor really built himself into doing that. He was not real good at catching and throwing early on in his career, but Orth can crank it up. He'll get in the shotgun again. And his pistol formation with Smith to his left. Now he gets behind him. Gist in a short set up front. And Jamari Smith breaks out at the 35, 40. Got room on the far sideline. Foot race. 40, 30. Smith knocked out of bounds around the 18-yard line. Jamari Smith couldn't get the last angle in his favor, but he still goes 52 yards.
Yeah, the guy coming across the field had the angle on him, so Smith normally with very good speed and has very good speed, but if those defensive backs have the angle, that's a big advantage. But Jamari Smith making some good moves at the line of scrimmage, Todd. A little patience here and there, and then once he saw it, as you said earlier, he hit that burst, that one step, and he's full speed.
I don't care who you're playing and what the score is. It's good to see those runs from inside the tackle burst out of there. Good blocking. Orth back to work now. 1st and 10 inside the 20. And he'll hand off again. Smith pounding. He'll get inside the 15-yard line around the 14 for a 4-yard gain. Clock ticking. 12:38 to go in the ball game.
Yeah, the call-in shows after the game with Langston. They'll be naming him starter next week. That's the way it goes. Who is this Smith guy? Why didn't they play Connor Mitch? You know, but Connor Mitch, folks, highly recruited quarterback out of Raleigh. He's redshirting this year as a true freshman. But, yeah, they have Smith in there. He'll just bump everybody.
I know Connor Shaw is 116 straight at home, but Orth looked good to me.
Why don't we play him more?
Orth out of the shotgun again. He does look good. He's going to hand it off right side, trying to get to the corner, and unsuccessfully doing so is Jamari Smith. Maybe this first bad decision of the day in the run game instinctually. It just gets 2 yards. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and probably about 4 yards to go with 11:51 in this ball game.
I tell you, if you're a Carolina fan, though, you can call in anything, any show and say about anything, because you've been to the last 36 games here. You've seen 33 wins. I mean, that's pretty strong anywhere in America.
Kelvin Rainey and Jody Fuller in the ball game right now. Rainey, watch him. He's dangerous at tight end. He puts his hand down on the left side. Orth out of the shotgun. They're going to run it. Jamari Smith struggling to get to the 10. He needed to get to about the 8 on a 3rd down and 4.
You know, he looked a little tired that time.
He did look tired.
Quite and the play before this, too, he looks like a little winded. Didn't quite have that little zip that he had initially. So they're bringing him out right now. I think that 58-yard run or so kind of tired him out a little bit.
Brandon Wiles checked in. Pretty good option, along with Garrison Gist. Garrison. He's got that frame for a fullback, doesn't he? 7th play of the drive upcoming. It's a good 2 yards for a 1st down on 4th and 2. 10:46 to go, 44. 6 seconds to go on the play clock. Orth raises a leg up. Shotgun snap. Trying it with Wiles. Right side. Running hard. Inside the 10. Brandon got the first down. Inside the 5, around the 4. He wanted the TD, but they needed to pick up those 2 yards, and it'll be 1st and goal at the Coastal 4-yard line.
Todd, I think we were right on Smith. I do not believe he would have made that run right there. He just was tired, wouldn't have been had the left in him to get it to the outside.
Especially when you go from no carries, no
Exactly
playing
right.
time this year.
Very good point. Very good point. Yeah.
The guy's the featured back all of a sudden, and he's not used to it.
Yeah, that adrenaline wears out after a couple more runs.
Wild stays in at tailback. 2 wide receivers left side. Coastal's trying to blitz. They do so. Brandon off the left side. Pounds that shoulder pad, and it gets him into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. Touchdown, Brandon Wilds, his 2nd on the day. He gets over the hamstring and the bad elbow and got 2 TDs, and that was a power run.
Out behind the 2nd string offensive line, too. I keep mentioning that because those guys really have not played much this year. Sean Elliott, the excellent offensive line coach, likes to create that unit, Todd. 4, 5, 6 guys up there, and they play together the whole time. And they get in, they learn how to communicate. They learn how to trust each other. They really like building a unit on offense in the front 5 or 6 guys. And this time, these guys, 2nd string, are playing well.
Here's Elliott Fries. Done a lot of work today, as most of the Gamecocks on those offensive units. And he makes it around 70. That was 78 yards on 8 plays. The most points ever scored at South Carolina, 89. This one falls in there 5th. It exceeds the all-time high for Steve Spurrier against Troy of 69, and this is the most ever in the Spurrier era, 70 points.
I have not looked it up and probably should, but my man Kershaw is over there and he can do it. But I remember playing Kent State here with George Rogers, and I believe George went out at halftime with about 150 yards, and Coach Carlin put him on the bench, which he should have, but he was, I think the Gamecocks went about 70-something.
77.
77, yeah.
Yeah, what a big day. Pacific, another one as well, if I recall. That may have been in total yardage, your most points scored.
Gamecocks now, speaking of total yardage, 608 yards in total yards, 335 rushing, 273 passing. For Coastal Carolina, who came in averaging 512, they have 243 yards in total offense, only 52 yards rushing, 191 yards passing.
Adrian Sullivan set back to receive the Landon Ard. They're even wearing out the soundtrack of Sandstorm. Now, Sullivan takes it at the 2, comes up the near sideline. 10, 15. Oh, great tackle right around the 20-yard line. Wrapped up those legs. And an 18-yard return on the play. And stop. Wild Wing Cafe.
I believe I'd give Landon Ard a break, too. That leg needs some rest, too.
He's got a whole week, Tommy. I think he's going to be all right. He got a turkey dinner, got time off with the family. I think he'll be okay.
You know, and Jerry Spurrier, Coach Spurrier's wife, does an absolute wonderful job of putting together the family atmosphere of Thanksgiving with all the kids here now. So wonderful, homogeneous family type of approach.
Epworth Children's Home comes over as well on Thursday as Michael Church back into the ball game at quarterback. He'll hand it off to the Sherrall native, Travis Small, 5'10", 200-pounder, gains 3. Wild Wing Cafe is Columbia's home for hot wings, cold beer, good times in Carolina football. Don't miss Carolina Calls with head coach Steve Spurrier, live from the Wild Wing Cafe in the Vista, Thursday nights at 7. Here at the Wild Wing, football's our thing. Wild Wing Cafe, where great food rocks. I'll see Tommy Suggs there. It's Carolina Calls this Tuesday night. Suggsy and his family usually make it. Come out there and see Tommy.
Superstitious as me.
Yeah, we all are.
Got a wife that way, too.
I know the HBC's looking for you coming through that door, I promise you. Church back to work, handoff inside again. Chanticleers trying to run this one out. With about 8:47 to go, they push across the 25-yard line for a 3-yard gain.
Gamecocks improving today in the red zone as far as touchdowns are concerned. We mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Carolina down to about 65% scoring TDs inside the red zone. That's not what Steve Spurrier likes. But fortunately for Carolina, there's a little guy named Elliott Fry. He's made some field goals to still win some games this year, but today not missing a chance inside the 20, so that helps a lot.
Chris Moody in at safety. I see Sidney Rhodes in at a corner. Rico Williams in at a corner. Church with 6 seconds left on the play clock, working out of the gun. They've run it each of the downs. Here comes a blitz from the Gamecocks. Church wants to throw it. Slant route caught. 40-yard line. 45 in the Gamecock territory and down to the 41-yard line. Bruce Mapp, 6'1", 170-pound redshirt freshman from Philadelphia. Great slant route, and Church put it right on the numbers and slipped 31 yards, did Mapp.
Yeah, just got inside the cornerback between the linebacker and the safety wasn't there, and just a nice route against a perfect defense to call it.
Pretty good pickup by that offensive line for the Chanticleers. 7:37, 70-7 Gamecocks. Church taking his time. Shotgun snap, handoff, coming left side on the sweep, right into Mason Harris's arms. Great job on the play. Was not giving outside leverage, then made the stop himself, turned it back in. And that's why he's getting a lot of snaps, Tommy. Not a whole lot of stats, but he's played in a bunch of games. You wonder if he could just put on another 15, maybe grow an inch or two. That's an SEC defensive end who can play every down.
Yeah, we got to have some help on those defensive ends next year, because obviously Clowney's gone and Sutton's gone. So English over there is an athletic defensive end, but Small Harris the same way. So need some good recruits and some good guys here to just beef it up a little bit.
2nd down and 8 after the Mason Harris stop. Here comes blitz again. Church wants to throw it into traffic, rolling right side. He gets away from the rush now towards the far bench and picks up a couple as TJ Hulliman runs him out of bounds. It's still a 5-yard gain. Again, those Gamecocks at the feet of these quarterbacks and not bringing them down. Lorenz Bryant, the one pressuring that time.
Yeah, sometimes when you're blitzing in like that on the corner, you've got to anticipate where the block is going to be, so go over them. Now, there are not many people that can do that, like Jadeveon Clowney. I've seen him do it before, but you need to kind of anticipate what is going to happen, because they would try to chop you in most of the cases with those backs anyway. They're not going to take you straight on.
Breeze kicks up with 6:05 to go in the ball game. 70-7 Carolina, but it's a 3rd down and 3. The Chanticleers have got it right at the Carolina 35-yard line. They run sweep left side. Turning inside is Travis Small. He pushes inside the 30, and he picks up a 1st down. Again, another handoff in the backfield. It doesn't look very good, but it nets 6 yards and a Coastal 1st down.
You know, Todd, let's remember, too, today, again, Jadeveon Clowney did not play. Qualls did not play. Bryson Williams did not play. All those guys on the defensive side, and on the offensive side, of course, Mike Davis did not play. So 4 really key players for Carolina not playing today, and they got rested. Hopefully they'll all be back next week.
We'll ask Coach Steve Spurrier about that on a permanent health injury report in the post game. Church back to work again. Out of the gun, takes a snap, throwing inside to his tight end, incomplete over his head. He looked left and back right for Craig Wyke, and it's incomplete, and 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, that time Lorenz Bryant out of Charlotte, North Carolina, highly recruited linebacker, was in position to, he thought, make the interception. Went through his hands, though, and nice to see him on the field. He's a prototype SEC linebacker. Just got to get him more playing time and learn the system and all, and good playing opportunity for him here today.
Church stays in the game. Clock stopped for the moment. 10 seconds on the play clock at 5:13 in the ball game. 70-7. Chanticleers threatening inside the 30. Church wants to throw down the near sideline. Incomplete. Rhodes came back as the receiver came back. Bruce Mapp on that comeback route towards the 20-yard line, and it was thrown over the head. Michael Church with an incompletion. 5:05 to go in this ball game. Tommy, we'd be remiss, just because he hadn't played since the 1st quarter, to not congratulate again Connor Shaw. He goes to 25 wins as a starter for South Carolina. That's the all-time record, and he does it in 30 games. And he does it, frankly, as one of the toughest guys to ever play for the Garnet and Black.
Well, you know, we'd be remiss also not to congratulate you for having the record that he tied last week and broke today. So both you guys deserve a lot of credit.
Church back to work on the slant route inside on 3rd and 10. Incomplete. He was rushed with good pressure from Mason Harris. Sullivan, the intended receiver. And it's 4th down. Let's see if they line up, try to get a field goal. Looks like the unit is coming out. Alex Catron, the 6'2", 170-pound junior, who hit a 50-yarder versus Charleston Southern. And he's the career leader in points for the Chanticleers. This one will be from 46 yards out, off the left hash mark. Snap it back, good one. Put it down, kick it up, plenty of distance. Angling, and good. Well, there's a positive they can take into the playoffs. Nice kick by Alex Catrons, and the Chanticleers got 10 on the board. It's a 60-point margin, though, with 4:50 to go, 70-10. We'll be back on the Gamecock IMG Sports Network. The 9th win of the season, 4:50 to go at Williams-Brice Stadium. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Carolina football. You know you can get my man Brent Johnson in the postgame, but let's get an update quickly on the Red Baron scoreboard.
This is going to blow your mind. Georgia Southern has gone up on Florida in the early third quarter, 14-10. Georgia Southern leads at Florida. Ton?
I still think the most important thing there is how many people in the stands now, because if he loses the fans down there, they're in trouble.
Coastal to kick off. David Wilkins, backup wide receiver, takes it at the 9-yard line, cutting at the 20. Wilkins up to about the 24, and they sling him backwards. Wilkins is funny. He'll always be in my heart. I think I may have told you this story, Tommy. We get in the hotel in Missouri, and I'm going up with a couple of guys, and it's always fun to be in there because they're cutting on each other. And I laughed and said something, and David, I didn't say anything to anybody, and Wilkins goes, "That's the voice."
Well, when we were taping this morning, it was so funny over there for the pay-per-view, and we had Liz was making sure we all arranged right, and we had all these co-eds around us and some other Carolina fans, and these co-eds were saying, "That's Todd Ellis, that's Todd Ellis." No one said anything about me, which I'm used to.
And that's Austin Hales now in at quarterback. He's going to hand the ball off right side. I've seen Austin run some scout team. He's snapped the ball some. I've never seen him play at Williams-Brice. What a treat for him, Tommy, to get out on here. Let me count up the quarterbacks here today. Is that 5? Everybody's played. 4 or 5?
Yeah, Shaw, Thompson, Nosovich. Orth, you're right, Orth, yes, 5. Yeah. And I want to say something about the band, too, Todd. We got, first time ever, we got some publicity material on the band, and we'll get to that after this play.
Hales taking his time, letting the play clock run down. 4:06 to go. They're clear effort now. At tailback, Devin Potter, 5'10", 200-pounder from Granite Falls, North Carolina. He's to the left. Fake, wide receiver screen, left side. And the Chanticleers are all over that. So no catch for Wilkins, intended receiver outside. It'll be 3rd down and about 6 yards to go.
And Todd, people talk about the band sounding better, more horns and all that stuff. Well, no wonder. They went from about 280 members a few years ago when Rebecca Phillips took over as the band director to 345 members now. And the whole concentration has been on the horn side, and they're having fun. Great job by her. Really appreciate what she's doing, and I think it adds a whole different atmosphere to this Carolina football program.
Doing a great job. Handoff, left side. Gamecocks push across the 30. Won't be enough to keep the chains moving up the field. And I assume Steve Spurrier will punt this away. 4-yard gain on the play. Potter with the run over left side. And they will go for it. See if Hales can run it down some. These are all these Gamecocks who run the same sprints, go to all the same meetings, lift all the same weights, who never get out there. What a treat. Even in a big game like this, it's 70-10. They get out on the field and they get a play, and they can tell everyone that. Yeah, I put on the jersey, but I also played at Williams-Brice, the home of the nation's longest win streak. Potter running right side. Did he get there? Right at the marker, but the 38-yard line.
I think he did. Yes, first down. Yep.
Oh, great. The Gamecocks push the chains. He can run this one out likely with 2:50 to go, and the Chanticleers have no interest in stopping the clock. A lot of Gamecocks stayed. Even some of the students, Tommy, they did a good job. I just saw a gal that says, "I stay all 4 quarters for number 14."
I also date him. No, she didn't say that, but.
Yeah, she had to sign.
Well, a lot
there.
of respect for Connor Shaw and what he's done in this entire football program. And I think it's, as I've said so many times in speaking engagements, it's not about a football team. It's a program now. It's built on a solid foundation. So many people have contributed, not just the players, not just the coaches.
Potter again running right side. He takes a hard hit and keeps going. Nice job. He's going to gain 5 on the play with a big collision that time for the Chanticleers. And a big bull back. 4 carries in a row.
You know, I guess Gamecocks go home tonight and sit around and go wherever you're going and just pull for Ole Miss.
That's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Nice night. If we get the fire going and start pulling for Ole Miss. Hotty toddy. 136, 135. Gamecocks taking their time. 3 wide receivers left side. Hales out of the shotgun, going to run it himself. Kind of diving forward. Not much of a gain on the play, maybe 1 or so as the clock keeps running. The inside zone, not his strength. But they don't need it right now. The Gamecocks are going to get their 9th win of the season. For the 4th straight year, they have won at least 9 games. An amazing feat that had never been done back-to-back. And it only been done twice in the history of the university before Steve Spurrier got here. And they upped their chances for a great bowl again. They upped their chances for going into next week's game with some rhythm. And they found it today, particularly early on. Hales taking his time, 42 seconds to go. He wants to throw it. Screenplay, left side, got his man. Potter picked up easily, 40, 45 into Coastal territory, and they trip him up around the 45-yard line. Nicely executed. 15-yard gain, another Carolina first down. They'll just run the clock out with 25 seconds to go.
Another big game of no turnovers for Carolina, Todd. The 3rd game in a row Gamecocks have had no turnovers.
The teams press out on the field. Steve Spurrier runs out to midfield. You see Joe Mowgli? It's the 75th win for Steve Spurrier at South Carolina, and the Gamecocks stretch that home win streak to 17 games. Connor Shaw becomes the all-time leader for wins for a starting quarterback at South Carolina. He's got 25 in the 30 games he started for the Gamecocks, and now the Gamecocks win it 70-10 and ready for the Clemson Tigers.
And Todd, I think a big thing is, did either team suffer any injuries? And I don't think that happened today. I don't remember a timeout except for Marquise Roberts down here who came back in. So it looks like both teams come out of this injury-free. I certainly hope that for Coastal Carolina, because they're a very good program. They got a good coaching staff. They got a lot of things going for them. And they got the playoffs in front of them, as they know. The Gamecocks have Clemson, of course, next week, and possibly the SEC championship game and certainly a bowl game. So, and Carolina today was able to rest. Again, Clowney, Quarles, the 2 best players on defense, and also Bryson Williams, and also on offense, Mike Davis. So hopefully those guys will be ready too. So all in all, everybody should have come out of here okay.
Let's go down to Langston Moore on the sidelines. He got a special guest.
Yeah, we got Victor Hampton here. Vic, let's talk about the preparation for going into this game. Everybody outside of Williams-Brice Stadium was talking about, a little bit worried about the 10 wins from Coastal Carolina. What did you guys have to do to kind of get yourself revved up to go?
No big plays, stop the run. You know, when the ball is in the air, make a play. You know what I'm saying? We seen them on film making plays, so I just told myself they weren't going to be me.
Absolutely, and Victor, obviously you did that today, almost having 2 pass breakups, or had a couple pass breakups, an interception, and a chance for another one. You came out here and played with a lot of enthusiasm and effort and kind of led the charge today.
Hey, man, you know, when you get a chance, you know, not every game I get a chance to get involved in the game, you know what I'm saying? So the last couple of weeks I've been getting involved. They've been throwing the ball my way, and you know, I finally get a chance to show my ball skills and things, so I'm excited.
So let me get close to you since it's that time of the year. This game is over. We know what's next week. Let's talk about the mentality going into the game. We know toughness has played a part in beating that Clemson team. What's the mindset for next week going in to get a win here?
Be great. We still got a chance to continue history, man. We haven't lost a home game in a while. And I think it would be real disappointing to lose that home game to Clemson. So we're going to come out with a lot of motivation, ready for it. It's going to be a great atmosphere, and we're trying to get that 5th one in a row, man.
There it is. 1 for the thumb. Enjoy it, my friend. Have a good one. Guys.
Thank you, Langston. Always great to talk to you and to Victor Hampton. The Gamecocks today victorious. Let's go through that scenario again. Obviously, the Gamecocks are still in the hunt for the SEC East. They need Missouri to lose tonight to Ole Miss and or next week to Texas A&M. They do so, the Gamecocks go. They would go against the winner of the Iron Bowl, either Alabama or Auburn. But for the fourth straight year, they've won 9 in a row, at least. And they go to 9-2 on the season. They take down Coastal in a big way, 70-10. That's our final score. We'll start to recap today's game in a few moments. And for you pay-per-view audience, stay tuned for the live press conference interviews with Coach Spurrier and players. You're listening to the Gamecock IMG Sports Network.